Chapter 1425. Seeing the ladies collecting the fire spirit stones on the ground in the fire beast battalion's base, everyone in the outer perimeter felt an itch in their hearts. They stared at the fiery red spirit stones and wished they could snatch them all. However, when they recalled Qin Feng's valiant skills, more than half of them immediately dispelled that frightening thought. Humans die for wealth, and birds die for food. A few groups of disciples finally jumped out from the crowd. Under the temptation of the 3 spirit stone mountains, they had completely lost their rationality. "This brother, it's not right for you to monopolize the fire beast battalion's fire spirit stones, right?" A man in a white robe with a hanging sword engraved on it spoke first. Qin Feng recognized their attire. They were the disciples of the Skycloud sword. "Brother, he is right. We have all paid the spirit stones to complete this mission. Right now, we haven't even earned back the spirit stones we paid. Shouldn't you give everyone some fire spirit stones as compensation?" The black and white robed Gate of Life and Death disciple echoed. Seeing that someone jumped out to speak, more and more sect disciples stood out. This kind of herd mentality didn't only exist in the secular world of China, it was the same in the divine continent. "Everyone, don't be afraid. We have the advantage in numbers. Furthermore, that fellow lost a lot of chi in the battle with the fire beasts. I don't believe he can still hold on." "Well said. If they don't give us any fire spirit stones today, we will join forces to deal with them." The crowd discussed and stared at the 3 spirit stone mountains behind Qin Feng with bloodshot eyes. Hua Xiaozhen and the girls got nervous and hastened the speed of collecting the spirit stones. However, there were so many fire spirit stones, how could they be collected in a short period of time? Seeing that the conflict between the 2 sides was getting worse, Yang Su, who had been standing at the side with a cold expression, suddenly sneered. He jumped in front of everyone and said, "Everyone, don't worry. This fire beast battalion is under the control of our Blazing Sun sect. Everything has to be approved by us. Since Xiao Feng collected more than half of the fire spirit stones in the bodies of the fire beasts, I support everyone to split the 3 spirit stone mountains." As soon as Yang Su's words came out, the crowd, which was already restless, was completely emboldened. They knew that Qin Feng was incredible, but Elder Yang Su wasn't weak either. He was an expert that had stepped into the 7th stage of Qi. Furthermore, even if Elder Yang Su couldn't defeat Qin Feng, there was still the Blazing Sun sect's vice-sect leader overseeing the Fire Beast Battalion. It was rumored that the deputy sect master had already stepped into the 8th stage of Qi. How could the young Qin Feng fight him? "Fellow Taoists, since Grand Elder Yang Su is on our side, what else do we have to fear? Fellow Taoists, since Elder Yang Su is on our side, we don't have to be afraid. I advise you to listen to Elder Yang Su's arrangements. Otherwise, we won't stand on ceremony with you." The crowd, which was originally standing 100 meters away, had now rushed to a distance of more than 10 meters. The girls were so frightened that they became flustered. Hua Xiaozhen abandoned her task of collecting spirit stones and ran to Qin Feng's side with her sword in hand. She looked like she was ready to fight to the death at any moment. Qin Feng held Hua Xiaozhen in his arms as he swept an indifferent gaze over the Holy Gate's disciples. If it was before, Qin Feng wouldn't have the confidence to face hundreds of sect experts at the same time. But now that he had leveled up the killer book to the 4th level, his strength had increased by 3 times. He wasn't afraid at all. Qin Feng didn't even bother about their threats and spoke to the ladies who were frantically collecting spirit stones. "Lady Qingshou, Ziyu, all of you come over and place the fire spirit stones over there. I want to see who dares to snatch my, Qiao Feng's, things today. Anyone who crosses this line will be killed without mercy." Rumble. As soon as Qin Feng's voice fell, a golden saber descended from the void. The saber seal was several hundred meters long. When it landed on the ground, it split open a long and deep ravine 5 meters in front of Qin Feng. The ravine extended to the empty space several hundred meters away. It was like a Chu River dividing line that separated him from the Holy Gate disciples. This strike was so ferocious and violent that it scared the shouting crowd into silence. Qin Feng's last words were still echoing in everyone's mind. Anyone who crosses this line will be killed without mercy. The huge fire beast battalion base fell into silence. The people on the other side were momentarily at a loss. Even the ladies standing behind Qin Feng were stunned. Ziyu, Qingshou, and the others looked at Qin Feng's back with shining eyes. They were deeply impressed by the arrogance and dominance revealed by his saber strike. There were hundreds of Qi experts and almost half of the Holy Gate disciples in the Divine Continent. But in Qin Feng's eyes, it was as if they were nothing. A moment later, a turbulent discussion came from the opposite side. While they were afraid of Qin Feng, they were also completely infuriated by Qin Feng's audacity and arrogance. Humph! Isn't he just at the 7th stage of Qi? What's there to be arrogant about? Elder Yang Su is only at the 7th stage of Qi. Has he ever been arrogant? I don't believe this. I will definitely cross this line. Is there anyone who wants to come with me? Let's go together and capture those ladies first. We'll force that Xiao guy to submit to us. Elder Yang, why don't you take the lead? The crowd was noisy, but no one dared to be the first to cross the ravine that Qin Feng had created. Yang Su was so angry that he blew his beard and glared at them. This was the Fire Beast Battalion, the territory of the Blazing Sun sect. How could they allow that Xiao guy to behave atrociously here? However, Yang Su was somewhat uncertain. He couldn't understand where Qin Feng's courage came from. He actually dared to challenge these hundreds of Holy Gate disciples. All right, I will take the lead on behalf of the Blazing Sun sect. Heroes, follow me, Yang Su suddenly roared and immediately turned into a black shadow as he shot forward. The hundreds of disciples were already ready to make a move. When they saw that Elder Yang had made his move, they all followed suit. For a moment, black shadows leaped up and down. It was a spectacular scene of hundreds of flowers blooming. Hua Xiaojun and the other ladies were already screaming. The dozen or so meters between the two sides were crossed by the disciples in the blink of an eye. However, Yang Su, who was the first to move, didn't cross the ravine. He had already retreated and stood at his original position to watch the show. Rumble. A loud explosion suddenly erupted without any warning. Qin Feng's face was ashen. The golden phoenix saber in his hand slashed out horizontally. Instantly, a golden saber qi that was hundreds of meters long appeared. For a moment, screams filled the sky. Explosions occurred one after another. Any disciple who crossed the ravine was blasted into pieces by the violent saber qi. I said, those who cross this line will die. Once Qin Feng attacked, he wouldn't stop so easily. He roared and leaped into the air. Instantly, he floated in the air. There seemed to be 2 balls of fire flickering under his feet. He struck out with both palms, and a rain of fire fell from the sky. Rumble. The explosion caused by the golden saber hadn't subsided yet. The destructive flames burned wantonly again. The ravine that was hundreds of meters long was filled with flames and instantly turned into a ravine of fire. Many sect disciples fell into the fire pit and wailed like ghosts and wolves as they were burned by the raging flames. However, there were also more than a dozen disciples who had already killed their way to Hua Xiaojun and the other ladies. However, they didn't have time to capture the ladies. A wave of red spear chi fell like flying arrows and instantly pierced through the crowd. Bang, bang, bang. This fierce battle was incomparably violent from the start. In less than half a minute, 20 to 30 of the 100 or so disciples had already died. The remaining disciples immediately retreated. Looking at the hundreds of meters-long fire pit and the scene of the continuous explosions on the other side, each of them stared with their eyes wide open. There were no longer any complaints or clamors from the crowd. They felt a lingering fear in their hearts. Yang Su's legs trembled uncontrollably. He realized that Qin Feng was far stronger than him. If he hadn't been cautious and immediately retreated, there would have been another corpse in the fire pit. The raging flames were still howling incessantly in the wind. Hua Xiaojun and the other ladies were dumbstruck. They didn't know what to do at this moment. They even forgot about the spirit stone mountain behind them. Xiaojun, why are you opening your mouth so wide? Quickly go and collect the fire spirit stones. Qin Feng joked as though nothing had happened. It was as though the spectacular scene in front of him wasn't created by him. Hua Xiaojun's face turned red. She pouted and ran to collect the spirit stones. Young Master Qiao, you're so annoying. Ziyu, Qingxiu, and the rest of the ladies were startled and went to collect the spirit stones. This time, no one else dared to snatch Qin Feng's fire spirit stones. They stood over a dozen meters away. This distance was something they could cross in a breath's time, but it felt like a chasm that could never be crossed. 10 minutes later, the ladies surrounded Qin Feng again. They had already collected the 3 spirit stone mountains, and they couldn't conceal the joy on their faces. Young Master Qiao, thank you so much. The amount of fire spirit stones you collected in this short period of time is dozens of times more than what we collected in a week. Qingxiu had a grateful expression. Violet Rain's face blushed red. She gave Qin Feng a meaningful glance, hiding some unspeakable secret. Hua Xiaojun couldn't stand it anymore. She quickly grabbed onto Qin Feng's arm and said, Lady Ziyu, since young Master Qiao and I have found the 1,000 Shadow Sect's disciples, there is no need for you to follow us. Go wherever you want to go. Ziyu was very anxious. She was now relying on Qin Feng. If she could follow such an expert, what mission couldn't she complete? What's more, Qin Feng's extravagance had stunned Ziyu. She believed that staying by Qin Feng's side wouldn't be wrong. Young Master Qiao, if the 4 of us leave you now, we will definitely be bullied by others. Please don't chase us away. We are willing to obey any of your instructions. Ziyu gave Qin Feng a coquettish glance as she spoke. Qin Feng didn't mind Ziyu's enticement. That night, his fire poison acted up. Otherwise, with Hua Xiaojun's looks that weren't much more outstanding than the 4 ladies from the Zixia sect, Qin Feng would have looked for Hua Xiaojun even if he needed her. Now that he had finished collecting the fire spirit stones, Qin Feng immediately thought of the proper business. He looked at Qingxiu and said, Lady Qingxiu, I have already extracted the fire spirit stones from the fire beast battalion's fire beasts. If you continue to stay here, it will be a waste of time. Qin Feng didn't directly ask the 3 ladies to return to the sect. Instead, he used an indirect approach. Chapter 1426. Qin Feng was immediately depressed. Why was there a mission? Lady Qingxiu, I'm a bit tired after the big battles just now. I'm afraid I can't do any more missions. You've been out for quite a long time, so why don't you return to the sect and go into seclusion to break through? Qin Feng pretended to be tired and suddenly lay on Hua Xiaojun's body. Qingxiu rolled her eyes. This Qin Feng's acting was too fake. Anyone with a discerning eye could see through it. Young Master Qiao, why don't you listen to me talk about the mission before you make a decision? Seeing Qingxiu so insistent, Qin Feng could only nod. Speak, I won't do it anyway. Qingxiu almost fell. She thought that young hero Qiao was too direct, but she quickly calmed down and said, There's a legend in the Fire Beast Battalion that says there's an ancient beast, the giant winged fire demon, hidden in the depths of the Fire Beast Battalion. If you eat the giant winged fire demon's meat, you can extend your lifespan by 10 years. If you drink its blood, you can break through quickly. Qin Feng, who was originally irritated, gradually became serious. If this legend was true, he really wanted to see the giant winged fire demon. In the end, Qin Feng's current level of true qi level was too low in the divine continent. He urgently wanted to break through quickly. At the same time, he had a thought. If he could subdue the giant winged fire demon for his own use, it would be an incomparably powerful battle pet. Big Sister Qing Xiu, is what you said true? That giant winged fire demon isn't an incarnation of Xuanzang, right? Hua Xiaozhen was dumbstruck. Her words made everyone laugh. After laughing a few times, Ziyu became serious. Young Master Qiao, I've heard of the legend that senior sister Qing Xiu spoke of, but I don't know if it's true or not. This is because up until now, no one has seen that ancient beast. Even if someone has, I'm afraid they're already dead. Qing Xiu nodded and said, Junior sister Ziyu is right. Even if the legend is true, that giant winged fire demon is definitely an extremely powerful existence. I only mentioned this matter because I saw that young Master Qiao's strength is superb. As for whether or not you want to go explore, it's up to young Master Qiao to decide. All the women looked at Qin Feng expectantly. They clearly wanted to find that legendary beast. This kind of super demonic beast was filled with treasures. If one could really eat its flesh and drink its blood, they would definitely be able to soar several realms overnight. On the other hand, Hua Xiaozhen's face was filled with worry. Compared to breaking through to the next realm, she was more concerned about Qin Feng's safety. Young Master Qiao, I think we should forget about it. What if that ancient beast is more powerful than you? Qin Feng had already considered Hua Xiaozhen's worries. If that giant winged fire demon was really very powerful, Qin Feng would just fly the black dragon mech and escape with the girls. He had seen the extreme speed of the black dragon mech before. He believed that escaping would not be a problem. Lady Qing Xiu, do you know where that ancient beast is? Qin Feng had already made his decision. We definitely don't know its exact location. We can't even tell if the legend is true or false. However, it is rumored that the colossal beast is hidden in the deepest part of the Fire Beast Battalion. We can try our luck there, Qing Xiu said. All right. Let's go take a look. Qin Feng made up his mind. Qing Xiu, Violet Rain, and the other girls were excited. Hua Xiaozhen's little face was filled with worry. However, she knew that Qin Feng would not change his mind, so she did not try to persuade him further. Qin Feng was about to bring the girls deeper into the Fire Beast Battalion to search for the giant winged fire demon. Qing Xiu hurriedly stopped him and said, Young Master Qiao, don't be anxious. The Fire Beast Battalion has been occupied by the Blazing Sun sect for many years. The depths of the Fire Beast Battalion have been classified as a restricted area. We have to inform the Blazing Sun sect first. If they do not allow us to enter, then there is nothing we can do. Qing Xiu, Violet Rain, and the other girls were very afraid of the Blazing Sun sect. This place was guarded by the great elder Yang Su and a deputy sect leader. However, Qin Feng waved his hand and said, What is there to inform? Poison Sun City is public land. Why should the Blazing Sun sect have the final say in the Fire Beast Battalion? We just have to go in. If anyone dares to cross that fire pit, we will kill them without mercy. Qin Feng seemed to be talking about an insignificant matter, but he shocked the girls once again. Seeing that he had already moved, Violet Rain, Qing Xiu, and the others gritted their teeth and followed. The group of disciples on the other side of the fire pit didn't leave for a long time. Yang Su and a group of Blazing Sun sect disciples were also standing in the crowd. When everyone saw Qin Feng and the others walking towards the deepest part of the Fire Beast Battalion's base, the crowd instantly exploded. Fuck! Where are they going? It is said that there is an ancient giant beast hidden in the depths of the Fire Beast Battalion's base. Eating its meat can prolong one's lifespan, and drinking its blood can help one break through to the next realm. Could they be going to find the ancient giant beast? I have also heard of that legend. It is said that the ancient giant beast is incomparably violent. Does that brat really dare to take the risk? I want to see how he dies. When they heard everyone's discussion, the expressions of the Blazing Sun sect disciples changed drastically. They looked as if they wanted to rush up and stop Qin Feng's group. Elder Yang Su, that brat wants to go to the Fire Beast Battalion's forbidden area. We must stop him, a disciple anxiously shouted. Yang Su glared at him and said, Stop him. Who is going to stop him? If you want to stop him, then hurry up. Don't just stand here and babble. The disciple immediately shut his mouth. The other disciples lowered their heads and didn't dare to say anything else. The deep pit that Qin Feng had created was still burning. No one dared to step over it. Yang Su stared at the silhouettes of the few people that were gradually getting further away. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. After a long time, Yang Su suddenly asked the disciple beside him, Is the vice sect leader still cultivating in seclusion inside? The disciple hurriedly said, Elder Hui Yang, it is because the vice sect leader Yang Gang is still cultivating in seclusion inside. That's why I boldly propose to stop that fellow with the surname Qiao. If we let them disturb the vice sect leader's cultivation, we won't be able to bear the consequences. Yang Su's sinister eyes stared at the distant in indeterminacy. All of you have seen that brat's strength. Who can stop him? It's good that he went in. Let the vice sect leader Yang Gang teach him a lesson and let him know the immensity of heaven and earth. Yang Su's words shocked the hearts of the Blazing Sun sect disciples. Although they had guessed that Qin Feng was stronger than Elder Yang Su, now that Yang Su had personally admitted it, the feeling was completely different. Qin Feng was only in his early 20s, but even the true Qi Stage 7 Elder Yang Su feared him. Just how strong was this brat? Qin Feng's group had already stepped into the depths of the Fire Beast Battalion. This was actually a forest. It was a completely different landscape from the yellow sand and scorching sun of Poison Sun City. The forest was gloomy, and it was surrounded by towering trees. Once Hua Xiaojun and the other girls entered the forest, they became nervous. Each of them gripped the weapons in their hands tightly, ready to fight at any time. Qin Feng was clearly much more relaxed. The environment here was similar to Devil Beast Mountain, so Qin Feng was not surprised. Young Master Qiao, so those fire beasts outside all came out from this forest. Hua Xiaojun said in a suppressed voice. Along the way, everyone had encountered too many fire beasts in the forest. This forest seemed to be boundless. Who knew how many fire beasts had been bred here? Qing Xiu sighed. How many fire spirit stones are there? This is simply a fire spirit stone forest. This was also Violet Rain's first time entering this forest. If Qin Feng hadn't given each of their sects a fire spirit stone mountain, the girls would not have been able to resist hunting fire beasts. It was unknown if it was because of Qin Feng's blood demon armor, but the fire beasts in the forest did not take the initiative to attack them. Even if they accidentally bumped into each other, the fire beasts acted as if nothing had happened and did their own thing. After walking for a long time, they did not find anything out of the ordinary. In this huge forest, other than fire beasts, there seemed to be no other beasts, let alone the ancient giant beast that Qing Xiu mentioned. Young Master Qiao, I can't go on. Let's rest for a while. Hua Xiaojun had been injured in the battle with the fire beasts earlier. After rushing for an entire afternoon, she leaned against a large tree, sweating profusely. Qin Feng quickly fed her some blood qi pills. He looked at the other girls and said, "Seeing that everyone is tired, and the sky is dark, let's rest here tonight. Let's recuperate and set off tomorrow." Qin Feng did not feel tired, but he had to take care of these girls. He took out some of the fire spirit stones he collected and prepared to cultivate for the night. The girls each found an empty space to sit down and took out their fire spirit stones to cultivate. With a pile of fire spirit stones, the surrounding temperature rose by quite a bit. The spirit energy within the fire spirit stones was very abundant. Qin Feng even set up a simple spirit gathering array. Everyone sat inside the array and circulated their qi together. In just a short moment, the density of the surrounding spirit energy increased by several folds. However, the spirit energy within the fire spirit stones was different from ordinary spirit stones. It had an intense yang aura. As more and more fire spirit energy entered Qin Feng's body and circulated, he felt hotter and hotter. Finally, he simply took off his clothes and continued cultivating. Time flew by, and after cultivating until the latter half of the night, Violet Rain let out a long breath of impure air. Her body had completed a major circulation path. She opened her eyes to look at her surroundings and was instantly attracted by Qin Feng's body. Violet Rain's charming face flushed red. She was wondering why Qin Feng had taken off his clothes while cultivating. She quickly understood the meaning behind it. After a slight hesitation, she called out to her 3 disciples and quietly walked over to Qin Feng's side. "Who is it?" Qin Feng suddenly felt someone hugging his waist. Just as he was about to slap her, he suddenly stopped. "Violet Rain. What do you want?" The 4 girls from Purple Cloud Mountain were frightened by Qin Feng's sudden reaction. Violet Rain quickly explained, "Young Master Qiao. I want to serve you." Qin Feng was startled. He originally didn't want to do such things, but now that the 4 girls took the initiative to make such a request, and Qin Feng was someone who loved to help others, how could he refuse? Chapter 14:27. Once again, Ziyu and the others deeply experienced Qin Feng's strength. They even sympathized with Hua Xiaozhen. In the past, when Qin Feng fought with Hua Xiaozhen, how did Hua Xiaozhen, a single woman, manage to survive? This battle lasted from the latter half of the night until dawn. The 4 ladies were so tired that they laid on the ground. Qin Feng wore his clothes and stretched his body, appearing to be in high spirits. "Young Master Qiao, why are you here?" Hua Xiaozhen suddenly ran over with a bunch of dragon fruit-shaped fruits in her arms. Ziyu and the other ladies were so tired that they were lying on the ground. They didn't even wear their clothes. Qin Feng said awkwardly, "I was a little hungry after cultivating, so I walked around to see if there was anything to eat." Hua Xiaozhen glanced at the 4 ladies lying on the side and pouted. "Young Master Qiao, I discovered that you were missing early in the morning, so I specially went to pick some fruits for you. Quickly eat them." Hua Xiaozhen had already noticed that Qin Feng was fooling around with the Purple Sunset Mountain women, but she kept her grievances in her heart and didn't say anything. Qin Feng understood this lass's thoughts and pulled her into his embrace. "Xiaozhen, you eat some too." Just as he received the fruits that Hua Xiaozhen picked, Qin Feng's expression changed. "Xiaozhen, where did you pick these fruits from?" Hua Xiaozhen was stunned. "In the forest, I nearly lost my way and couldn't come out. What's wrong, young Master Qiao? Is this fruit poisonous? Then you better not eat it." Hua Xiaozhen had a worried expression and was afraid that Qin Feng would get sick from eating it. Qin Feng shook his head and said, "This fruit has rich spirit energy and a vigorous yang aura. It has similar effects to the fire spirit rock." These words stunned Hua Xiaozhen. At this moment, Ziyu and the other ladies had also put on their clothes and walked over. Young Master Chiao, I heard that the giant winged fire demon has a mystical fruit that can accelerate one's breakthrough after eating it. This fruit is usually eaten by the fire beast battalion's fire beasts, which is why their bodies would condense the fire spirit rock. Ziyu's words made Qin Feng's eyes light up. He carefully felt the aura of the fruit in his hand. It was indeed similar to the fire spirit rock, but the spirit energy concentration and purity were not as good as the fire spirit rock. Young Master Chiao. Why did you abandon us? Another 3 beautiful figures appeared, and delicate beauty rushed over with 2 disciples. When the 3 of them woke up, they realized that everyone was gone. They thought that Qin Feng had abandoned the Thousand Shadow sect to secretly take Hua Xiaojun and the people from Purple Cloud Mountain on a mission. Don't worry, we're just looking for food. You guys came at the right time. Little Zhen found the area where the giant winged fire demon might appear. Let's go take a look now. The Thousand Shadow sect disciple's expression changed. His delicate and pretty face took a fruit from Hua Xiaojun's arms and examined it closely. This is a fire demon fruit. Seeing that Qing Shou recognized the fruit, Qin Feng hurriedly asked, what is a fire demon fruit? It is rumored that the fire devil tree is filled with fire devil fruits, and the fire beasts in the fire beast battalion have been eating the fire devil fruits since they were young, allowing them to cultivate on their own. Their bodies even condensed fire spirit stones, and the area around the fire devil tree is where the colossal winged fire demon lives. If Violet Rain and Delicate Beauty had both mentioned this rumor, then it was likely that this rumor was true. Everyone didn't waste any more time and quickly headed towards the fire demon tree. Hua Xiaojun led the way, and she was the one who discovered the fire demon fruit. However, after walking into the depths of the forest, they were surrounded by towering trees, and their vision became dimmer and dimmer. Hua Xiaojun was lost. Young Master Chiao, I can't find it. At that time, I didn't remember the way and just walked randomly. Hua Xiaojun was so anxious that her forehead was covered in sweat. Qin Feng hugged her in his arms and comforted her. Don't worry, Xiaojun. Calm down and think about it. It's okay if you really can't think of it. Hua Xiaojun nodded and tried to look around. However, the scenery in the depths of the forest was exactly the same. She couldn't tell which direction was north, south, east, and west. Young Master Chiao, I can be sure that I've been here before. At that time, I even peed under this tree. Hua Xiaojun moved closer to Qin Feng's ear and whispered. After she finished speaking, her little face was completely red. Qin Feng was almost amused by her appearance. Then how long did you walk before you picked these fruits? Hua Xiaojun thought for a moment and said, not too long, at most 20 minutes. Qin Feng nodded. 20 minutes wasn't too long. As long as they searched the surroundings, they would definitely find the fire demon tree. In order to speed up the search for the fire demon tree, Qin Feng split everyone into 3 groups. The 3 people from the Thousand Shadow sect searched the depths of the forest on the right, while Violet Rain led the disciples to the left. Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun continued forward. After the 2 walked for a while, Hua Xiaojun suddenly ran forward excitedly. Young Master Chiao, I found it. It's that tall tree. Qin Feng already saw the large tree in front of him, and his eyes flashed with shock. That fire demon tree was as tall as the heavens, and he couldn't see the end of it. The trunk of the tree was also incomparably thick, and it looked like a villa standing there. The branches of the tree were lush, and the leaves were fiery red. When they swayed in the wind, they looked like burning flames. The fire demon tree was covered with fire demon fruits, and they shone like pieces of gold hanging on the tree. Perhaps it was the time for the fruits to ripen, so the ground was covered with a large circle of fruits. It was blinding. Wow! Young Master Chiao, there are hundreds of fire demon fruits on the ground. We're rich. Hua Xiaojun stood under the fire demon tree and cheered excitedly. Previously, she didn't know the effects of the fire demon fruits, but now that she knew eating them could speed up one's cultivation, she felt as if she had helped Qin Feng do something big. Roar roar. At this moment, a few beasts roared angrily. Qin Feng's expression changed drastically, and he shot towards Hua Xiaojun. As soon as he reached the tree, Qin Feng casually grabbed at the air, and dozens of red spear lights shot out. The three fire beasts behind Hua Xiaojun died on the spot. Ah! Qiao, young master Qiao. Hua Xiaojun came to her senses, and she was so frightened that she fell into Qin Feng's arms. Qin Feng held the spear in one hand and held Hua Xiaojun's slender waist with the other. He looked around, and his expression instantly became serious. Xiaojun, hide in the tree. Qin Feng's deep voice sounded. Hua Xiaojun had already discovered the situation, and she was so frightened that her eyes almost fell to the ground. She didn't know when, but they were surrounded by hundreds and thousands of fire beasts, and there were even more fire beasts rushing towards them from all directions. Young Master Xiaojun, don't go up the tree. Xiaojun wants to fight to the death with you. Hua Xiaojun's expression quickly turned cold, and she had already drawn the violet sunset sword from her back. How could Qin Feng let her go? He pushed her lightly, and Hua Xiaojun's slender body landed on the fire demon tree. Roar roar. Almost at the same time, dozens of fire beasts suddenly attacked. Qin Feng stood under the gigantic fire demon tree alone with his spear. The open space was rapidly shrinking, and it was being crossed by the fire beasts. Rumble. A huge explosion erupted from Qin Feng's body, and his bright red blood demon armor glowed red. A mysterious blood flowed within the armor, and a strange aura drifted out. Furious roars shook the heavens, and the first wave of fire beasts had already rushed to Qin Feng's feet. Hua Xiaojun was restless on the tree, and just as she was about to jump down and fight to the death with Qin Feng, she was shocked to find that the fire beasts had suddenly frozen in place. The pure spirit blood of a super magical beast in the blood demon armor had been completely activated, and the bloodline symbolized the existence of an ancient magical beast. These fire beasts were only ranked 2 magical beasts, and in front of Qin Feng, it was as if they had encountered their ancestor. The roars gradually stopped, and at this moment, there were thousands of fire beasts gathered under the gigantic fire demon tree. These magical beasts had lifeless expressions, as if they were puppets whose souls had been sucked out. Such a spectacular scene made Hua Xiaojun's jaw drop. Young Master Qiao, a few beautiful figures descended. It was Ziyu and the other pretty girls. They had also heard the roars of the fire beasts, and had rushed over. At this moment, when they stood behind Qin Feng and looked at the surrounding scene, they were all dumbfounded. All of you, climb up the tree as well. I can sense that the giant winged fire demon is nearby. Qin Feng's voice was extremely grave. He discovered that there were 2 extremely powerful auras hidden nearby. One of them was the aura he had discovered when he had first entered the Fire Beast Battalion. The other was an even more berserk aura of the beast race. All the girls were shocked, and they hurriedly hid in the fire demon tree. It wasn't that they were afraid of death and left Qin Feng to take the risk. It was just that the array of thousands of fire beasts was too shocking. Even if Qingxiu and the others attacked, they would definitely die. It was very likely that they would become Qin Feng's burden. The thousands of fire beasts did not attack. They had all been subdued by the super magical beast blood in the blood demon armor. However, an angry roar suddenly came from the forest in the distance. The roar shook the heavens and the earth, causing the forest to shake. The gigantic fire demon tree swayed, and all the fire demon fruits on the tree fell to the ground. It was as if it was raining fire demon fruits. Roar! The angry roar in the distance startled the thousands of fire beasts awake. Their dull eyes lit up, and their huge eyes were bloodshot. They opened their bloody mouths and pounced towards Qin Feng. Young Master Qiao, the girls on the tree cried out anxiously, but Qin Feng had already turned into a black shadow and disappeared into the distance. However, his voice still echoed in the same place. All of you stay on the tree and wait for me to return. Swish! 2 balls of fire flickered in and out of existence in the sky. The group of fire beasts chased after Qin Feng in a frenzy. A beam of golden light suddenly fell from the sky, and a several 100-meter-long saber chi fell to the ground. It instantly created a deep ravine and blew the group of fire beasts into pieces. Roar! Qin Feng had purposely swung this saber to completely infuriate the group of fire beasts. They all chased after Qin Feng and left the area of the fire demon tree. This time, Hua Xiaozhen and the others were temporarily safe. As they flew, the 2 balls of fire flickered in and out of existence in the forest. The group of fire beasts could not keep up with the speed of the golden whirlwind. Qin Feng even slowed down from time to time, deliberately waiting for the fire beasts to catch up. Rumble! Qin Feng didn't know where he had run to, but a gust of wind suddenly rose behind him. The group of fire beasts roared at the sky as if they had gone mad. They stopped running and uniformly knelt in a row, worshipping the direction behind Qin Feng. Chapter 1428. Rumble. The moment the enormous creature landed, the ground immediately sank into a huge pit. Cracks appeared on the ground within a radius of 100 meters, extending as if there was no end to them. Gravel flew in all directions, dust filled the air, and rows of towering trees fell to the ground one after another. Qin Feng flew through the air on his golden wheel. This was not the first time he had encountered a magical beast. He even commanded the beasts of Devil Beast Mountain and created 4 spiritual beast battle pets for himself. However, he was still stunned by the enormous creature in front of him. This enormous beast was over 6 meters tall and over 2 meters wide. Its entire body was fiery red, as if there were flames burning within it. It stood on all 4s like a human, and 2 pairs of enormous wings grew from its back, flapping from time to time. Roar, roar! The enormous beast suddenly roared angrily after it landed and leaped into the air. The wings on its back spread wide, as if covering the sky and covering the sun. It instantly collided with Qin Feng. A loud sound exploded high in the air. This collision was extremely violent. Qin Feng's body swayed in the air like a kite with a broken string. He felt as if he had been hit by a speeding train. He fell all the way from the sky and finally collided with a towering tree. The enormous tree trunk crashed to the ground and sank into a huge pit. Bang, bang, bang. Loud noises sounded continuously all around him. Qin Feng felt as if his internal organs were about to be spat out. At this moment, his body was shining with a golden light. Fortunately, he put on the golden rock sovereign armor at the critical moment. Otherwise, he really would have been smashed to death by that enormous beast. Little pig, what kind of monster is that? Qin Feng hurriedly poured a handful of medicinal pills into his mouth. Little Pig's voice was urgent. Master, this is a giant winged fire demon, a rank 6 fire-type magical beast. It's comparable to a martial artist at the 8th stage of true Qi. However, as a super magical beast, the giant winged fire demon's defense is astonishing, its explosive power is ferocious, and its fighting strength is very long. It's definitely much stronger than a martial artist at the 8th stage of true Qi. Little Pig's introduction made Qin Feng's heart sink. He had only stepped into the 6th stage of true Qi, and when he used his full strength, he could kill a rank 7 martial artist. However, when he encountered a rank 8 martial artist, he couldn't fight with just his martial cultivation unless he used star tech battle equipment. Now that a super magical beast that was even more ferocious than a martial artist at the 8th stage of true chi had appeared, Qin Feng was truly stumped. Roar! The gigantic winged fire demon didn't give Qin Feng any chance to catch his breath. Just as Qin Feng was thinking of a countermeasure, he suddenly felt as if black clouds covered the sun above his head. The enormous beast spread its wings, and in the blink of an eye, it was about to land again. Rumble! With a loud explosion, the grassland was trampled into ruins. 2 balls of fire flew above the beast's head. Qin Feng was almost trampled to death by this super magical beast. The thousands of fire beasts that were chasing after Qin Feng suddenly went berserk. They attacked Qin Feng ferociously like members of a suicide squad. When they opened their mouths, they could spit out huge fireballs. For a moment, the sky was filled with a rain of fire, and it looked like it was going to burn the sky. Swish, swish, swish. Qin Feng darted through the rain of fire. His body brushed past the fireballs, and he hovered between life and death time and time again. Master, we can't go on like this. Hurry up and use the Star Tech battle armor. Little Pig shouted anxiously. Duan Yu, Golden Fur Lion King, and the others also requested to step forward. Qin Feng didn't release the heroes. They had all been heavily injured recently, so there wasn't much point in releasing them. Qin Feng's thoughts moved slightly, and his silver cannon that was half the height of a person was mounted on his waist. This wind and cloud wild demon cannon had 2 muzzles, and it could be fired at the same time. Qin Feng turned around and aimed at the densely packed black dots on the ground, and directly fired. Ta, ta, ta. For a moment, true energy bullets fell like raindrops. Many of the bullets collided with the fireballs that soared into the sky, and exploded in midair. Even more bullets hit the ground, and the group of fire beasts screamed in pain from the explosions. Seeing this situation, the giant winged fire demon suddenly roared toward the sky. The fleshy wings on its back flapped vigorously, and it instantly turned into a black shadow and shot over. This fire beast's speed was too fast. Even Qin Feng couldn't dodge with his golden whirlwind wheel. With a loud bang, he was once again smashed into a huge pit. Rumble! As soon as he landed, the winged beast in midair opened its mouth, and a huge fireball that was like a dark cloud flew down. Qin Feng spat out 2 mouthfuls of blood, and immediately slapped the air with his palm. Bang, bang, bang. A wall of ice condensed above Qin Feng's head. When the fireball hit the wall, it sounded like a metal hammer hitting the wall. Cracks quickly appeared on the hard layer of ice, and it was about to explode into pieces. Rumble! The instant the ice wall exploded, the fireball ignited the pit. However, Qin Feng was no longer in the pit. In the depths of the forest, there was a speeding black shadow, scaring the group of fire beasts into roaring. Qin Feng drove the black dragon war chariot at full speed. The chariot's skylight, doors, and bottom were all wide open. More than a dozen laser guns and 2 anti-aircraft cannons were ready. It was clearly the first time the group of fire beasts had seen something like the black dragon war chariot. However, they only froze in place for a few seconds, and then immediately rushed toward Qin Feng. Not only did Qin Feng not run, but he also did a 180-degree drift and aimed the chariot at the group of fire beasts. Next to the anti-aircraft cannons on the roof of the chariot, a wind cloud mad demon cannon appeared. He stepped on the accelerator, and the black dragon war chariot surged forward like an awakened beast. Roar, roar, roar. Seeing the chariot speeding toward them, the group of fire beasts roared again and again. Under the command of the giant winged fire demon, their eyes were all blood-red, and they rushed toward the chariot like death servants. The sky full of fireballs had already fallen, smashing the black dragon war chariot into a mess. However, this chariot produced by star technology was incomparably sturdy. Those fireballs couldn't even ignite the chariot, let alone blow it up. The distance of several hundred meters was covered in a few breaths under the ferocious charge of both sides. The chariot was like a ferocious tiger descending a mountain, knocking dozens of fire beasts into the air. Without waiting for these fire beasts to land on the ground, the wind cloud mad demon cannon on the roof of the chariot displayed its might. True chi bullets filled the sky, and it looked like it was going to hit the fire beasts all the way to heaven. Ta, ta, ta. The laser guns on both sides of the chariot also fired. For a moment, the red laser bullets shuttled among the fire beasts, and many fire beasts suddenly fell to the ground halfway. The anti-aircraft cannons at the bottom of the chariot also shot out a blue light, which condensed into a beam of light and shot out, cutting the row of dozens of fire beasts in half. The battle had only just begun, but it was abnormally fierce. Those fire beasts should have turned tail and fled in fear under this fierce artillery attack, but the giant winged fire demon circling in the sky didn't leave. These fire beasts also fought with their lives on the line against Qin Feng. No matter how fierce the black dragon chariot was, it couldn't withstand the group attack of thousands of fire beasts. Halfway through the battle, the chariot was full of holes from the flames that filled the sky and the impact of the fire beasts. Its original appearance was already unrecognizable. The laser cannons on both sides were pulled out by the fire beasts, and the anti-aircraft cannons at the bottom of the chariot had their muzzles broken after flipping a few times. Only the wind cloud mad demon cannon on the roof was still firing. And the group of fire beasts had already leaped onto the roof of the chariot in an attempt to destroy the cannon. "Master, we need to immediately retrieve the black dragon chariot for repair. Otherwise, the chariot will be completely scrapped." At this crucial moment, Little Pig's voice came. Qin Feng was so anxious that his forehead was covered in sweat. He had used this black dragon chariot to kill many powerful martial artists, but he didn't expect to fall at the hands of these magic beasts today. Boom boom. Qin Feng stepped on the gas pedal to the ground. He didn't dare to continue fighting. The tail of the black dragon chariot shot out 2 balls of green light, and it instantly turned into a sharp arrow that shot out. The fire beasts that blocked the way were knocked into the sky one after another. The black dragon chariot's head was also smashed into a mess. The originally domineering appearance was now like a pile of scrap metal. After a series of rampage, Qin Feng finally rushed out of the beast horde. However, there were still 3 fire beasts on the roof of the chariot. They were madly smashing the cannons and frames on the roof. These fire beasts were all rank 2 magic beasts. The power of their fists was extremely ferocious. The entire black dragon chariot swayed continuously. "Little bastard, get out of my way," Qin Feng gritted his teeth in anger. He looked at the black dragon chariot that was already beyond recognition. His heart was bleeding. He stepped on the brakes as hard as he could, and the speeding chariot suddenly did a beautiful drift. Under the intense inertia, 2 fire beasts were flung into the air. Qin Feng turned around and slapped the last fire beast with a fire blade, sending it flying as well. The chariot resumed its journey. The fire beasts behind it were left further and further behind. They had already become a pile of black dots. Just as Qin Feng let out a long sigh of relief, a ball of fire landed on the roof of the chariot and blasted the black dragon chariot into the air. Whoosh! In the air, the chariot suddenly disappeared. The 2 balls of fire flickered unsteadily. Qin Feng stepped on the golden wheel and soared into the sky. He looked at the colossal winged fire demon that was rapidly chasing behind him. He was extremely anxious. This super magic beast's speed was really too fast. In the instant it opened its mouth, a large ball of fire rushed out. Behind Qin Feng, a strong wind blew in all directions. It was as if he was exposed to the scorching sun. Seeing that the fire demon was already close, Qin Feng turned from retreat to attack. He turned around and slashed down with his blade. Rumble. A golden blade aura that was several hundred meters long seemed to fall from the sky. He used the full power of the golden phoenix to instantly kill a rank 6 true Qi expert. Even a rank 7 true Qi expert would not dare to face it head-on. However, the colossal winged fire demon did not retreat at all. Instead, it increased its speed and charged forward. The violet blade aura exploded countless times on its body. However, not a single blade mark was left on the fire demon's skin. It let out an angry roar. Instantly, a gust of wind rushed forward and knocked Qin Feng down from the sky. Rumble. The colossal winged fire demon landed at almost the same time as Qin Feng. The moment its feet touched the ground, the mountain forest shook. Qin Feng had already stepped on the golden wheel and retreated to the side. However, he was still shaken by the aftershock. When he stabilized his body, the colossal winged fire demon's long arm had already swept over. Bang bang bang. It was unknown how violent that palm was. Wherever the arm passed, the air exploded continuously. Qin Feng retreated continuously. With great difficulty, he found an opportunity to catch his breath. His large hand pierced through the air. Instantly, thousands of red spear auras shot out in front of him. It had the imposing manner of piercing through the sky. Stab stab stab. Chapter 1429. The moment the spear light collided with the fire demon's body, it was as if thousands of meteors had fallen on its body. The loud sound was earth-shattering. Although it couldn't pierce through the fire demon, its huge body was knocked back. With every step it took back, the forest shook. Along the way, it left behind dozens of huge, deep footprints. Roar roar. The fire demon roared angrily at the sky. After stabilizing its body, it charged forward again. Qin Feng's spear attack was extremely violent, but from the fire demon's reaction, it didn't seem to have suffered much damage. Clang! Qin Feng stepped on the golden wheel and left the ground. The ground under his feet instantly cracked. He leaped onto the fire demon's head and swung his spear again. Instantly, the spear light shot out like arrows and hit the fire demon's head like raindrops. The fire demon seemed to feel the pain. It hugged its head and roared at Qin Feng. It opened its mouth and shot out several balls of fire. Rumble. The sky seemed to be ignited. Qin Feng hurriedly raised his spear and dodged. He flew quickly around the giant winged fire demon. Compared to the fire demon's huge body, he was like a small flying insect. The giant winged fire demon swatted a few times but didn't hurt Qin Feng. It became impatient. The huge wings on its back flapped vigorously. Suddenly, a gust of wind appeared out of nowhere. The wind was mixed with a violent force. It was as if a stage 8 true Qi expert had unleashed the power of a palm. Qin Feng was like a small boat in the sea in the strong wind. The golden wool under his feet dimmed. His speed was clearly reduced. It was even difficult to control the direction of the wind. The fire demon swatted again. It was like Buddha's golden palm that sent him flying. Rumble. The moment he landed, it was as if a bomb had exploded. A row of trees collapsed one after another. Qin Feng's golden rock celestial armor made a messy sound as if it was about to split open. This slap made him dizzy. He couldn't help but spit out a few mouthfuls of blood. Little Pig and the heroes were already shouting anxiously in his mind. Master, you can't beat this super demon. You should hurry and run. Little Pig was jumping around anxiously in the system. A mere little beast dares to hurt my master. Master, let Golden Fur Lion King out. Master, Qin Feng had a splitting headache and couldn't hear their shouts at all. The gigantic winged fire demon flew in pursuit. When it stood in front of Qin Feng, its enormous body seemed to cover the sky and cover the sun, blocking the sky above Qin Feng. Roar! The fire beast raised its head to the sky and roared, sounding somewhat excited. It suddenly raised its leg as if it wanted to end Qin Feng's life. Qin Feng found it hard to escape the giant winged fire demon's enormous foot. Just as he was thinking of a countermeasure, the golden rock celestial armor on his body let out an angry cry. 3 golden pangs soared into the sky. Each of them spread their enormous wings, and their bodies were several meters long. They smashed into the flame beast's body. A burst of chaotic sounds exploded in Qin Feng's ears, and the violent air currents once again sent him flying dozens of meters away. Under the impact of the golden rock's aura, the giant winged fire demon took several steps back, and it looked like it was about to fall to the ground. However, it quickly steadied its body, and with a furious roar, it swung its huge iron wall through the air. In an instant, the 3 golden rocks were cut in half at the waist, and the berserk true energy surged and exploded. Rumble! The area where the fire demon stood was turned into ruins. The trees were bombarded, and the grass was crushed. When the dust settled, the fire demon was already standing upright on the ground. The fiery red color on its body was even more obvious, as if flames were burning on the surface of its skin. Its large bell-like eyes were bloodshot, and its huge mouth was wide open as it roared at Qin Feng in the distance. Rumble! This time, the fire demon spat out a pillar of fire from its mouth. It was like a fire dragon shooting toward Qin Feng. Wherever the pillar of fire passed, everything was burned to ashes. It was as powerful as Qin Feng's destructive flames. 2 balls of fire flashed and disappeared. Qin Feng had just shot into the air when the ground under his feet was turned into ruins. It made Qin Feng feel a lingering fear. You bastard, you've completely angered me. Just wait to die. Qin Feng flew around in the sky, and a raging fire burned in his heart. Up until now, he hadn't used his true trump card. Originally, he wanted to subdue this super demonic beast for his own use. But looking at the situation before him, even the pure spirit blood in the blood demon armor couldn't control it. Subduing this demonic beast was easier said than done. Another few balls of fire shot into the sky. Qin Feng flew back and forth in the flames and was almost engulfed by the flames a few times. The golden wheel under his feet suddenly disappeared, and his figure also disappeared from the sky. When he reappeared, there was a roar of an engine in the air. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. There was a sudden gust of wind, and a black shadow flew out from the flames. At this moment, Qin Feng was sitting in the control room of the black dragon mech. He pushed the accelerator to the bottom, and the tail of the mech shot out 2 beams of green light. It flew through the sky like a meteor. The giant winged fire demon, which was roaring wildly on the ground, suddenly stopped. It stared at the black dragon mech flying high in the sky with its huge eyes, and a look of confusion flashed in its eyes. Just as it was in a daze, the hatch at the bottom of the mech suddenly opened, and 2 tracking missiles descended from the sky. Rumble! The missiles landed and accurately exploded on the giant winged fire demon. The fire demon didn't even dodge or evade, and just stared blankly at the flames. However, this time, it realized the power of the tracking missiles. They were much more powerful than Qin Feng's Rainbow Demon Storm Spear. The instant the 2 tracking missiles exploded, the gigantic fire demon was sent flying to the ground. Roar, roar! The fire demon's furious roar shook the forest. Without waiting for it to get up, Qin Feng fired another 2 tracking missiles. Two trails of white smoke appeared in the air. The tracking missiles were so fast that they exploded around the fire demon in an instant. Rumble. This wave of explosion blasted the giant winged fire demon into the air, but Qin Feng didn't fire any more tracking missiles. That thing cost 10,000 hedonist points each, and it was simply too expensive. However, the right hatch of the black dragon mech suddenly opened, and the wind and cloud mad demon cannon stretched out. True energy bullets rained down from the sky. Ta-ta-ta. The true energy bullets continuously hit the fire demon's body. Qin Feng had already hovered the black dragon mech in the air, and the fire demon was dozens of meters away from him. Under the fierce attack of the true energy bullets, the giant winged fire demon was continuously shaken, and it couldn't fall for a while. Ta-ta-ta. Qin Feng threw a dozen or so high-grade spirit stones into the wind and cloud mad demon cannon, and the firepower instantly increased by several times. However, that super demon's defense was frighteningly strong. The true energy bullets hitting its body seemed to be tickling it. After fighting for a while, the giant winged fire demon suddenly came to its senses. It opened its huge mouth and spat out a long flame dragon. The flame dragon was extremely fast. Before Qin Feng could fly the black dragon mech away, the entire mech was engulfed in flames. The temperature in the cockpit instantly skyrocketed, and Qin Feng jumped up from the heat. Right now, he didn't dare to touch any of the machinery in the cockpit. The temperature was definitely over 100 degrees, and a slight touch could cause blisters to form on his skin. Master, that giant beast's flames are too strong. The black dragon mech is about to melt. Little Pig's anxious voice came over. Qin Feng was shocked. This was the Black Dragon series of Star Tech battle equipment, and it was obvious how strong the flames of the giant beast were. The situation was extremely urgent. Qin Feng hurriedly activated his will, and a layer of extreme ice immediately covered his body. He sat down again and flew the black dragon mech away. The places where his body touched the machinery emitted a sizzling sound, and the extreme ice was melted by the temperature of the flames. Master, you used the black dragon chariot not long ago and the black dragon mech just now. You spent a total of 100,000 hedonist points on ammunition. Now, the black dragon mech is severely damaged and needs to be immediately placed in the system's 1,000 treasure pavilion to be repaired. Little Pig quickly explained the current situation. Qin Feng's heart bled. In just a short half an hour, he had wasted another 100,000 hedonist points. Even if he wanted to continue using tracking missiles to attack the giant winged fire demon, it was too late. The tail of the black dragon mech was already emitting thick black smoke, and it looked like it was going to crash at any time. Qin Feng had just escaped the range of the fire dragon when he willed the black dragon mech to be returned to the system. He stepped on the golden whirlwind wheel again and soared into the sky. At this point in the battle, Qin Feng had used up almost all of his trump cards, and his body was riddled with wounds. Although he still had a black dragon tank, he believed that even if he used it, he might not be able to take down this super demon. If the fire demon destroyed the black dragon tank, then Qin Feng wouldn't even have a place to cry, roar roar roar. Seeing the mech disappearing in the sky, the giant winged fire demon suddenly raised its head and roared in excitement. It could be seen that it was also afraid of the black dragon mech's tracking missiles. Under the bombardment of those 4 missiles, the fire demon had suffered serious internal injuries. Now that he no longer had the support of star technology, Qin Feng didn't want to fight the giant winged fire demon head-on. Just as he was about to step on the golden whirlwind wheel and leave, he saw a white shadow rapidly approaching. Before he could react, a violent wave of true qi knocked him to the ground. Ha! This old man has been staring at this fire demon for a long time, but I never had the confidence to defeat it. Who would have thought that you would help this old man today? Don't worry, after I kill this bastard, I'll give you a quick death and leave your corpse intact." A burst of wild laughter came from the ground. Qin Feng climbed out of the pit with difficulty and saw an old man wearing a white robe standing in front of him. The old man's aura was strong. It was the same aura he felt when he first stepped into the Fire Beast Battalion. "Who are you?" Qin Feng gritted his teeth and asked. The old man looked at him indifferently. He didn't care about Qin Feng at all. It was as if Qin Feng was a dead man. "I am the deputy sect leader of the Blazing Sun sect, Yonggang. This is the forbidden area of the Fire Beast Battalion. If you dare to barge in, you will die sooner or later." Qin Feng guessed that this person was most likely the deputy sect leader of the Blazing Sun sect. He heard that this old man had long stepped into True Qi Stage 8. Even when Qin Feng was at his peak, it would not be easy to defeat him. Furthermore, he was injured in the battle with the Fire Demon, and only the Black Dragon tank was left of the Star Technology battle equipment. Yonggang's appearance had completely disrupted Qin Feng's plans. Now, he couldn't leave even if he wanted to. Fortunately, Yonggang wasn't in a hurry to attack him. He probably felt that he was no threat at all. At this moment, Yonggang was already looking at the giant winged fire demon opposite him. His old eyes flickered. Rumor has it that eating the meat of a fire demon can extend one's lifespan, and drinking its blood can increase one's cultivation rapidly. Is this true or false? Today, let this old man be the witness. Chapter 1430. The gigantic winged fire demon, who was staring at Qin Feng, suddenly looked at Yonggang. Its eyes were filled with rage, and with a roar, it spread its wings and flew away. The speed of its enormous wings was as fast as sword light, and it seemed to cross a distance of tens of meters in an instant. Its enormous feet hovered in midair, blocking out the sunlight above Yonggang's head. "Humph! A mere beast, get out of my way." Yonggang suddenly made a move, punching the air. A huge fist imprint quickly condensed in midair, colliding with the bottom of the fire demon's feet and instantly exploding. This punch shook the heavens and the earth. Even Qin Feng, who was lying 100 meters away, felt the air tremble. The seemingly invincible gigantic winged fire demon's body suddenly stopped in midair. Yonggang took advantage of this gap to leap onto the fire demon's head, and fiercely stomped on its hard back. Rumble. A huge sound reached the heavens, and Yonggang used the force to flip back 100 meters. The fire demon's enormous body fell to the ground, and the entire mountain forest shook, creating a huge, deep pit. Qin Feng had long been dumbfounded. Yonggang was worthy of being a level 8 true Qi expert, and his strength was unfathomable. The gigantic winged fire demon stood up, and only half of its body was exposed above the ground. It suddenly flapped the wings on its back and charged into the sky, and its intimidating roar filled the air. Its enormous body circled in midair for a moment, and after finding Yonggang's position, it quickly shot over. Roar, roar. The instant it opened its mouth, a fire dragon shot out. Even Yonggang, who was at level 8 true Qi, had a change in expression. His feet moved quickly, and he shuttled through the mountain forest, not daring to face the fire dragon's might head-on. The gigantic winged fire demon chased all the way, and its speed was much faster than Yonggang's. Seeing that he couldn't escape, Yonggang's expression turned cold, and he turned around and punched. The huge fist imprint rose into the air, and actually blocked the fire dragon midway. The flames all condensed on the fist imprint, trying to break through this true Qi barrier. After clashing for a full 10 seconds, there was a huge explosion in the air. The fist imprint dissipated, and the flames also scattered everywhere. Bastard, die! Yonggang once again seized the opportunity, and turned into a black shadow. First, he punched out. The huge fist imprint was unstoppable and destroyed all the obstacles in front of him. When the masculine figure arrived above the huge winged fire demon, he pulled out a saber from his back and swung it down, instantly tearing through the air. Loud explosions rang out incessantly, but the giant winged fire demon stood its ground, not retreating at all. It looked up to the sky and roared. Suddenly, it swung its huge iron arm toward the sky. The fist mark that was coming at it was torn apart by the fire demon's claw. Then, the falling blade aura exploded on its right arm, leaving dozens of bloody wounds on the fire demon's arm. Bang! The fist mark and saber chi had only injured the fire demon, but in the end, they hadn't been able to stop the power of its claw. The huge hand smacked his masculine chest, and he felt as if he had been hit by a speeding plane. A white figure swayed in the wind. Even Yang Gang could not withstand the giant winged fire demon's violence. He spat out several mouthfuls of blood in midair, and the moment he landed on the ground, dust flew everywhere. Roar! The giant winged fire demon did not give Yang Gang a chance to catch his breath. It ignored the bleeding huge arm and flew away. The ground shook as it ran. After a few breaths, the fire demon leaped up, and its huge feet landed ferociously on the ground. Boom! The flat ground was stomped into a huge crater, and gravel and dust flew into the sky. Yang Gang disappeared in the dust, causing the giant winged fire demon to roar angrily. Whoosh! The faint sound of the wind was covered by the angry roar. Yang Gang's figure had landed behind the fire demon at some point. The large saber in his hand pointed to the sky, and just as he was about to strike, Qin Feng's yell came from the distance. Big monster, behind. Qin Feng's yell scared Yang Gang to the point that he couldn't strike with the long saber in his hand. At this moment, he was less than 2 meters away from the giant winged fire demon. It was supposed to be a sneak attack, but the fire demon suddenly turned around. When Yang Gang looked up at the other party's tall and sturdy body, he felt an indescribable fear. Stinking brat, you're looking for death. Yang Gang was so angry that he cursed. Halfway through his yell, a loud sound exploded on his body. The fire demon's palm seemed to have swatted away a mosquito, and Yang Gang's internal organs shifted positions. His sneak attack failed and he was hit instead. At this moment, Yang Gang felt stifled. He wanted to kill Qin Feng and chop him into pieces. However, the giant winged fire demon had its eyes on him and chased closely. It didn't give him any chance to catch his breath. The trees around the battlefield had collapsed, and there were sparks of fire burning in the huge crater. There seemed to be a big battle with firearms here. The shocking scene was frightening. Yang Gang's speed was not as fast and fierce as the fire demon's. Running wasn't an option. Fortunately, his body was more agile, and he could always land behind the fire demon and launch a sneak attack. However, every time his sneak attack failed, Qin Feng would remind the fire demon. This way, it was as if the fire demon had eyes all over its body, and Yang Gang had nowhere to hide. Bang bang bang. Loud sounds came from all directions. That was the sound of the fire demon sending Yang Gang flying again and again. Yang Gang was worthy of being a true Qi Stage 8 expert. His defense was also astonishing. Under the fire demon's fierce attacks, he could still use his Qi to fight. However, his speed of escaping and attacking had clearly slowed down. Even if a few attacks landed on the fire demon's body, they only pushed it back a few steps and were unable to cause any substantial damage. Stinking brat, you dare to trick me? Do you know who I am? Yang Gang couldn't take it anymore and angrily roared at Qin Feng. At this time, Qin Feng's body had recovered quite a bit of true qi. He shouted at him indifferently, "Of course I know who you are. Aren't you the fierce Sun Sect's vice-sect leader? I forgot to tell you, I suppressed Yang Su not long ago, so there's already enmity between your fierce Sun sect and me. After Yang Gang understood the situation, he was even more furious. Only now did he realize that Qin Feng was purposely tricking him. You stinking brat, even if I die today, I'll drag you down with me. A white shadow shot over. Yang Gang stopped fighting with the giant winged fire demon and suddenly slashed at Qin Feng with his blade. A loud sound exploded on the ground, and a 5-meter-wide hole appeared on the ground where Qin Feng was sitting. Seeing that his blade had missed, Yang Gang was so angry that he blew his beard and glared. When he raised his head to look at the sky, his expression immediately changed. Stab, stab, stab. Qin Feng stood on the golden wheel and floated in the air. With a thrust of his spear, thousands of red spear lights condensed in front of him. Those long spears shot down like sharp arrows. Yang Gang flew quickly on the ground, but he was still hit by a few spear lights, and a few bloody wounds immediately appeared on his body. Now, there was the fire demon in front and Qin Feng behind. Yang Gang's sullen body was about to explode. He suddenly leaped into the air and his fists fell down like phantoms. The fierce fist prints were as dense as rain, exploding half the air. Boom, boom, boom. This fierce attack was incomparably fierce, and Qin Feng didn't even have the thought of facing it head-on. 2 balls of fire flickered, and the ground he was standing on was instantly blasted into ruins. On the other hand, the giant winged fire demon didn't reject anything that came his way. This time, it forcefully swatted with its palm. The hundreds of palm prints exploded on its body, and its palm also slapped Yang Gang's face. Rumble. The sound of explosions rang out incessantly, as if the entire forest was going to be blown to the ground. Even though the fire beast's body was incomparably hard, it still fell to the ground under Yang Gang's explosive attack. Yang Gang was in an even worse state. When the fire beast's large palm intimately touched his small face, he felt as if his head almost flew off his neck. The turbulent air currents sent him flying hundreds of meters away. After he fell to the ground, he didn't even have the strength to stand up. That fierce battlefield finally calmed down. Only Qin Feng was left standing on the ground, like an immortal, lofty mountain. The giant winged fire demon's enormous body twitched on the ground, and blood flowed like a river from its mouth. On the other side, Yang Gang continuously poured medicinal pills into his mouth and started to circulate his qi to adjust the chaotic true energy in his body. Whoosh! A gust of wind suddenly blew. When Yang Gang raised his head, he discovered that Qin Feng was standing on 2 balls of fire and hovering in the air above his head. After a great battle, Qin Feng's face was covered in dirt, and his long hair was in a mess. However, the golden rock heavenly sovereign armor on his body shone brightly, and it was so bright that Yang Gang could barely open his eyes. What are you trying to do, brat? I'll give you a way out, now hurry up and scram. Yang Gang had no confidence in his heart, but he forcefully pretended to be arrogant and roared at Qin Feng. However, just as he roared, he saw hundreds of red spear lights flying down like sharp arrows. He really wanted to dodge, but he was powerless. In the end, he exploded into pieces under the power of the spear lights. Whoosh! As soon as Yang Gang died, Qin Feng directly fell from the sky and fell to the ground. That spear attack had exhausted the last bit of true energy in his body. Originally, the 1,000-on spear shadow could only shoot out 100 or so. However, Yang Gang's injuries were even more serious than Qin Feng's. Otherwise, how could that spear attack kill an expert at the 8th level of true energy? This huge battle was finally over. Qin Feng rested on the ground for a while, and a few black shadows flashed over from afar. Just as he raised his guard, he saw Hua Xiaozhen landing beside him with a face full of tears. Whoa! Young Master Qiao, are you okay? Xiaozhen doesn't want anything to happen to you. Seeing Hua Xiaozhen cry like a child, Qin Feng hugged her tightly in his arms. This battle had been a narrow escape from death, and he had almost never seen Hua Xiaozhen again. Ah! Someone died over there. Qing Xiu discovered the explosion of Yang Gang. Qin Feng casually said, Fierce Sun Sect's vice sect leader Yang Gang is already dead. All the girls were suddenly stunned and looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. They had all heard of Yang Gang's great name. He was an expert at the 8th level of true energy, and he was actually killed by Qin Feng. The shock of Yang Gang's death had not yet subsided when Violet Rain cried out again, "Ah! What is that thing over there?" Violet Rain pointed at the gigantic winged fire demon. At this time, the fire demon was curled up into a ball, and its body was covered in bloody scars. At first glance, it really didn't look like anything. That's the gigantic winged fire demon. The legends you heard are true, Qin Feng said. All the girls were stunned again, as if this was the first time they had met Qin Feng. Although they had seen Qin Feng's strength before, Qin Feng's strength had given them a deeper shock. Chapter 1431. The girls couldn't come back to their senses for a long time. They felt like everything in front of them was a dream. The giant winged fire demon that was lying on the side suddenly let out a low howl, scaring the girls awake immediately. Not good, that super demonic beast is about to recover. Let's kill it while it's at its weakest, Qing Xiu said as she drew her sword. However, she was pulled back by Qin Feng. Don't kill that fire demon first. Let me see if I can subdue it. Qin Feng's words shocked everyone. That was the legendary giant winged fire demon. It was full of demonic nature and had a violent nature. How could it be subdued? However, under the girls' shocked gazes, Qin Feng had already walked to the fire demon's side. The giant winged fire demon sensed Qin Feng's aura and suddenly let out an angry roar. However, it seemed to be heavily injured. It struggled to stand up, but after a few attempts, it still fell to the ground. Little baby, don't be afraid. Master has no ill intentions. Follow Master, okay? Qin Feng's voice became soft. He sounded like a strange uncle trying to trick a little girl into giving him a lollipop. Hua Xiaozhen and the girls fell to the ground. They couldn't see Qin Feng, who killed the Blazing Sun Sect's vice sect master, and this Qin Feng, who was pretending to be cute, as the same person. The giant winged fire demon seemed to be disgusted by Qin Feng. It roared at him and spat on the ground. This giant beast could swallow a cow with its mouth, and its saliva could fill an entire bathtub. Qin Feng didn't care about this. He activated the pure spirit blood in the blood demon armor. At the same time, he used his will to display the power of a spiritual beast master. Qin Feng believed that if Qiao Shi was here, she would definitely be able to subdue this giant winged fire demon. After all, she was a spiritual beast master. With a thought, holy light cleansed everything in the world. However, Qiao Shi wasn't here. She was most likely in the hero city of Acropolis City. Strange energy waves rippled around Qin Feng. This energy waves couldn't be sensed by Hua Xiaozhen and the girls. Only beasts and spiritual beast masters could sense it. The giant winged fire demon on the ground sensed Qin Feng's will. Its expression became sinister, and its roar became louder. It seemed to be resisting Qin Feng's restraint. Actually, Qin Feng's initial plan was to subdue this super magical beast. However, the giant winged fire demon was too powerful, so subduing it was simply impossible. But now that fire demon was seriously injured, its consciousness and willpower were at their weakest. There was a chance to break its defense. Hua Xiaozhen and the other girls stood a dozen meters away and stared at Qin Feng in a daze. They had no idea what Qin Feng was doing. When they heard the roars of the fire beast getting louder and louder, and its body struggling more and more violently, the girls took out their weapons and prepared to attack at any time. Qin Feng was currently engaged in a silent battle of wills with the giant winged fire demon. There was no smoke from this battle, but it was equally intense. This fire-attributed Class 6 magical beast was indeed powerful. Even though it was heavily injured, its willpower was still incomparably firm. Even with the blood demon armor and the sovereign realm, Qin Feng still couldn't subdue it. After fighting for a while, Qin Feng felt as if his brain was on fire. "Master, you won't be able to defeat the giant winged fire demon if you keep going like this. It's very easy for you to go berserk," Little Pig said worriedly. Qin Feng also sensed the danger, and he felt as if his head was about to explode. If the sacred azure battle armor hadn't been broken, it would have been of some use. Activating hyper-intuition could increase his spiritual power. "Master can buy mental power potions," Little Pig quickly suggested. Qin Feng immediately looked at the system's inventory. Mental power potions were split into a few grades: elementary, intermediate, advanced, and super. The higher the grade, the stronger the effect, and the more hedonist points they cost. After looking through it, Qin Feng found that mental power potions were quite expensive. Elementary mental power potions cost 50,000 hedonist points per bottle, and intermediate mental power potions cost 100,000 hedonist points. Qin Feng didn't even dare to look at advanced and super mental power potions in detail. Little Pig could read Qin Feng's thoughts and quickly said, "Master, mental power is a very important ability for cultivators. It's crucial for things like forging, alchemy, and controlling flying swords. The system's mental power potions are permanent, so they're a bit more expensive. However, they're definitely worth it." Qin Feng didn't have time to think. He gritted his teeth and bought a bottle of elementary mental power potion. Instantly, 50,000 hedonist points disappeared, and a bottle of red potion appeared in his hand. Qin Feng opened the bottle and gulped it down. A strange energy rippled in his mind. Qin Feng had already checked the introduction of the elementary mental power potion. After drinking this potion, one's mental power would increase by 5 times. Roar, roar. The giant winged fire demon on the ground suddenly roared crazily. Qin Feng knew this was the effect of the mental power potion. Now that his mental power had increased by 5 times, his mind felt incomparably clear. He could move his thoughts at lightning speed, and the effects were incomparably powerful. "Master, congratulations on breaking through to the Imperial stage." Little Pig's voice rang out. Qin Feng's heart finally calmed down. The 50,000 hedonist points were well spent. However, when he looked at the remaining 1,069 hedonist points in the system, Qin Feng was shocked. He remembered that he had almost accumulated 2 million hedonist points to open the Immortal Island realm not long ago. Why did he suddenly lose 1 million hedonist points? It was said that money flowed like water, but Qin Feng spent hedonist points like drinking water. Under his new wave of thoughts, the giant winged fire demon's reaction became more and more intense. After struggling for a while, the giant winged fire demon gradually calmed down. In the end, its enormous body lay at Qin Feng's feet like an obedient pet. What's going on? Hua Xiaozhen was dumbfounded. Ziyu and the other beautiful women stared at each other. No one understood what was going on. At this time, they heard Qin Feng say, "Little darling, you're finally subdued by me. From now on, you're mine." The women rolled their eyes and almost fainted from shock. They always thought Qin Feng had gone crazy. Only now did they realize that he really subdued the giant winged fire demon. The 4 women from Mount Zixia had a shocking thought. Qin Feng was too ferocious in that aspect. Could it be that he subdued this super demonic beast for something? Wait, is this giant winged fire demon male or female? Young Master Chiao, why you really subdued the fire demon? After a long time, Hua Xiaozhen finally came to her senses and ran to Qin Feng's side. The other women also hurried over. When they saw the giant winged fire demon lying on the ground and rubbing Qin Feng's shoes happily like a child, they felt like the end of the world was coming. I've already subdued this fire demon. Everyone, don't think about killing it. The fire demon grew up eating fire demon fruits. Its flesh and blood indeed have very good cultivation effects. As for prolonging its lifespan, I think outsiders are exaggerating. Now that the fire demon has been subdued by me, that fire demon tree is also ours. We can pick the fire demon fruits at will. Since Qin Feng said he wouldn't kill the giant winged fire demon, everyone naturally had no objections. When they found out that they could bring back some fire demon fruits, the women instantly became excited. Everyone returned to the fire demon tree. The thousands of fire beasts were guarding there. This fire demon tree was like their home and life. If the tree was gone, their food would also be gone. Roar, roar. Just as they arrived, the group of fire beasts roared. Hua Xiaozhen and the other women jumped in fright, but they heard Qin Feng say, "Everyone, don't be afraid. The reason these fire beasts roar is to welcome the giant winged fire demon. The fire demon is their leader. Now that it has been subdued by me, these fire beasts are also my subordinates. They won't attack us." The women were relieved. Now that they were no longer enemies with the fire beasts, everyone realized that these fire beasts looked very cute. They all had 2 hands and 2 feet and walked like humans. Their bodies were covered in fiery red fur. When they weren't angry, their expressions were naturally adorable. Young Master Chiao, it's not easy for these fire beasts. Why don't we take less fire demon fruits? Hua Xiaozhen was very kind and looked at Qin Feng with anticipation. Qin Feng had already collected a mountain of fire spirit stones and didn't care about these fire demon fruits. He sat under the fire demon tree and said, "The effects of these fire demon fruits aren't as powerful as the fire spirit stones. Let's absorb the spirit qi in these fallen fruits. Don't pluck the ones on the tree." All the women nodded in agreement. Everyone sat under the tree and cultivated together. The surrounding spirit qi was incomparably abundant. Qin Feng also set up a small spirit gathering array. The true qi in everyone's body circulated back and forth, and their cultivation speed instantly increased by several times. Just the number of ripe fire demon fruits that fell to the ground numbered in the hundreds. When everyone was hungry, they would grab a fruit and eat it. Then, they would refine the fire spirit qi in their bodies, eat a few more fruits, and repeat this process. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. All the women had broken through one realm. Qin Feng also felt the qi in his dantian expanding. He was only half a step away from the 7th stage of true qi. If he encountered an opportunity, he could break through at any time. Swish, swish, swish. Under the fire demon tree, the sounds of swords could be heard. After the women broke through, they began to practice martial arts to stabilize their current realm. Hua Xiaozhen had stepped into the 4th stage of true qi. She brandished her purple cloud sword with ease. Her body was surrounded by purple mist, and she looked like a fairy that had descended to the mortal world. In the end, Qin Feng still couldn't break through to the 7th stage of true qi. He simply withdrew his true qi. Cultivation was originally a heaven-defying action, it couldn't be forced. Young Master Chiao, where are we going now? Seeing that Qin Feng had withdrawn his cultivation, the women quickly surrounded him while Violet Rain asked. Of course, Qin Feng was concerned about the Thousand Shadow sect. He looked at Qing Xiu and said, Lady Qing Xiu, Xiaozhen and I have been out training for quite some time. Now that the giant winged fire demon has been subdued by us, everyone has obtained plenty of fire spirit rocks, and we have all broken through realms. I think we should say our goodbyes here. If fate wills it, we will meet again. Qin Feng knew that it was time for the 1,000 Shadow Sect's disciples to return to their sections. He purposely took the initiative to break up with them. This way, when Qing Xiu and the other two ladies returned to their sects, he could just follow them all the way to the 1,000 Shadow Sect. The three ladies from the 1,000 Shadow Sect didn't think too much about it. They looked at Qin Feng with some reluctance. Although they hadn't known each other for long, Qin Feng's strength and heroism had convinced them. They were all very grateful to Qin Feng. Chapter 1432. Qing Xiu and the other two had already left. Qin Fen was extremely excited. He released the recon plane and activated its stealth tracking mode, trailing behind the 1,000 Shadow Sect's disciples. The four women from Zixia Mountain hadn't left yet. Violet Rain looked at Qin Fen ambiguously and said, Young Master Qiao, why you're really going back to the sect? I wonder if we'll ever see each other again. Qin Fen had fought with the four women twice, and those were truly fierce battles. He said, I'm a disciple of the Celestial Soul Sect. If you really want to see me, come find me in Celestial Soul City when you have time. The four women were overjoyed. After witnessing Qin Fen's strength, they knew that Qin Fen would stand at the peak of the Divine Continent in the future. If they could build a good relationship with him, wouldn't they have a meteoric rise in the future? After saying their goodbyes, Violet Rain left with the three disciples, leaving only Qin Fen and Hua Xiaozhen under the fire demon tree. Hua Xiaozhen was overjoyed. Young Master Qiao had become her exclusive again. Young Master Qiao, aren't we going to chase after the 1,000 Shadow Sect disciples? Hua Xiaozhen knew what Qin Fen was thinking. Qin Fen said, Of course we have to follow them, but there's no rush. Let Qing Xiu and the others go first, in case they discover us if we follow too closely. Anyway, there was a drone watching, so Qin Fen wasn't worried about losing them. He looked at the giant winged fire demon sitting under the fire demon tree and thought about how to take this giant away. The Hedonist sovereign system could store items, but it couldn't store living things. The Jade Spirit Ring was the same, it only stored inanimate objects. Now, such a large super demon beast couldn't be put into the Jade Spirit Ring or the system. Qin Fen didn't plan on taking the giant winged fire demon with him. That would be too big of a target, and they would definitely be discovered by the 1,000 Shadow Sect disciples before they even reached the halfway point. Little Pig, is there any way to take the giant winged fire demon away? Qin Fen asked. It hadn't been easy for him to subdue this super demon beast, so he couldn't just leave it here. Master, this is a bit troublesome. The main thing is that this demon beast is too large. How about Master activate Immortal Island? That way, you can take the giant winged fire demon away, Little Pig said. Qin Feng had always wanted to open the Immortal Island. Unfortunately, the cost of opening the Immortal Island was too high. However, now that the conflict was right in front of him, he decided to open the Immortal Island to see what it was. With a slight thought, the system's voice rang in Qin Feng's mind. The host Qin Feng's hedonist points total is 1,069 million. The Immortal Island interface cannot be opened. Would you like to borrow hedonist points to open it? As a rank 7 hedonist mortal, Qin Feng had the authority to borrow 1 million hedonist points from the system. He hesitated for a moment, then gritted his teeth and said, Loan. Host Qin Feng has borrowed 1 million hedonist points from the system. The borrowing rate is 0.1%, and the borrowing period is 3 months. At that time, the host will need to repay the host with interest. If the host is unable to repay the host, the Hedonist sovereign system will automatically shut down. Ding! Congratulations to host Qin Feng for spending 2 million Hedonist points to open the Immortal Island. A series of system notifications rang in Qin Feng's mind. He quickly calculated. Based on the interest rate of 0.1% per day, the 1 million Hedonist points he borrowed would generate 1,000 Hedonist points every day. 1 month would be 30,000, and 3 months would be 90,000. A majestic aura suddenly exploded in Qin Feng's mind. He didn't have time to think about the loan. The system in his mind suddenly rang loudly, and an island shrouded in celestial qi appeared in the midst of the chaos. Qin Feng stood in the center of the system. He had been here no less than 100 times, so he couldn't be more familiar with it. However, looking at the majestic scene in front of him, he felt as if it was the first day he had obtained this system. "Master, are you dumbfounded?" Little Pig leaped onto his shoulder and scratched his head with its claws. Qin Feng walked toward the island shrouded in celestial qi as he said, "Little Pig, this is the Immortal Island." "That's right, Master. This is the Immortal Island that you just spent 2 million Hedonist points to open. Although unlocking it is expensive, it's worth it." Not only was Little Pig excited, but even Duan Yu, Ouyang Feng, and the other heroes followed behind Qin Feng excitedly. "What is this Immortal Island for?" Qin Feng increasingly realized that this island was unusual. The Immortal Island, as the name suggests, is an island where a celestial venerable once appeared. Little Pig was halfway through its sentence when Qin Feng interrupted it. "The celestial venerable you speak of is a powerful half-step fairy." Little Pig shook its head proudly and said, "Master, what's the big deal about a half-step fairy? Those who can step into the Immortal Island must be a powerful fairy, not some fake immortal of the continent." With Qin Feng's current realm and vision, he still couldn't understand what immortal of the continent and true immortal were. At that moment, he had already walked to the foot of the Immortal Island. There was a bluestone path in front of him, and it was surrounded by precipitous cliffs shrouded in celestial qi. As for where this stone path led to, he had no idea, because the end of the bluestone path was obscured by clouds and mist. "Can we go over?" Qin Feng asked Little Pig. As a powerful level 6 vital energy expert, Little Pig had the support of a powerful star technology battle armor. Even though he had come to the Divine Land, he had been arrogant and oppressive all the way. However, standing at the entrance of the Immortal Island, he felt a powerful pressure and heaviness. He didn't even dare to take the first step on the bluestone path. "Master, don't worry. This Immortal Island was opened by you, so from now on, it is your territory. Master, you can give it a name," Little Pig said. The serious expression in Qin Feng's eyes didn't disappear. He looked at the clouds and said, "Let's call it Immortal Island for now. Let's go in and take a look first." Tap! Qin Feng leaped and landed on the first bluestone that led to the Immortal Island. The bluestone was actually floating in midair. Below it was a bottomless canyon. As Qin Feng walked forward, he realized that every bluestone was floating in midair. Little Pig and the other heroes followed behind Qin Feng. Even the glacier snow mastiff and the flaming golden eagle followed. The bluestone path didn't seem long, but it seemed to lead to the sky as they walked. "Master, you are too cautious. You can speed up," Little Pig reminded him from behind. Qin Feng turned around and looked. After such a long time, he had only walked a few dozen meters. He stood on the bluestone and let out a long breath. With a slight thought, he instantly turned into a shadow and disappeared. Swoosh! Gusts of wind suddenly rose. After Qin Feng charged on the golden wheel, the heroes and battle pets also burst forth with speed. Instantly, several black shadows flickered in the clouds. After running for an unknown amount of time, a bright light suddenly appeared in front of them. A huge open space appeared. Little pig, this is the Immortal Island. Qin Feng had a confused expression as he stood in the center of the open space and looked around. The open space was surrounded by immortal fog. They couldn't even see the bluestone path that they came from. Everyone seemed to be trapped in this open space by the immortal fog. This was a real open space. At a glance, there was nothing else other than the ground. The glacier snow mastiff and the flaming golden eagle were running and jumping on the ground. Golden Fur Lion King and the other heroes were also excited. Master, this is the Immortal Island. Little Pig said with certainty, the Immortal Island isn't as small as it looks. Its vastness is beyond Master's imagination. In order to protect Master's safety, the system opened up a corresponding area based on your current strength. As long as Master continues to increase your realm, the immortal chi around the Immortal Island will dissipate and reveal its original appearance. Qin Feng was instantly depressed. Then I can only move around in this area. What's so good about this place? Master's area of movement on the Immortal Island is not controlled. You can completely open up those hidden areas now. However, that will be dangerous, so the system suggested that Master develop in the existing areas first, Little Pig explained. The more Qin Feng listened, the more confused he became. After a long time, he still didn't understand what the Immortal Island was for. Little Pig continued to say, Master, the Immortal Island has many functions. I'll tell you a few of the most powerful ones. This Immortal Island is a cultivation plane. The spiritual chi on the island is extremely dense. It's nearly 100 times denser than China's. In the future, Master can completely cultivate here. Your cultivation speed is much faster than China's secular world and China's. Also, this Immortal Island is a real spatial plane. It's just that it's hidden by a formation like China's. Normal people can't enter, but Master can enter at any time. You can even bring others in. Qin Feng finally understood a little. After opening the Immortal Island, he could bring the giant winged fire devil to this island. However, he still had many unanswered questions. This Immortal Island was a real plane. Then was he the only person on the island? Little Pig said this was a cultivation plane. Could it be that there really were immortals on Earth? Little Pig could read Qin Feng's thoughts and continued to say, Master, simply put, you can think of the Immortal Island as another China. This is a real continent, and it's not something that Master only has. However, a great battle happened on the Immortal Island. After that battle, the people on the island either died or fled. It's hard to say if there are still people on the island. Qin Feng nodded and said, then can I understand it this way? I spent 2 million Hedonist points to open up the formation to enter the Immortal Island. Little Pig yelled in surprise, Master, you're simply too smart. It's like this, from the moment Qin Feng obtained the Hedonist sovereign system, he slowly experienced the system's trickery. At this moment, he wanted to curse again. However, before he could explode, Little Pig quickly said, Master, don't be anxious. Do you think opening the formation to enter the Immortal Island with 2 million Hedonist points is a loss? Actually, Master has profited greatly. Think about it, Master. Before you entered China, how would you have known about the existence of Qi experts? Ever since you entered China, Master broke through to stage 6 true Qi and obtained many cultivation resources. You're no longer the same as before. Chapter 1433. Little Pig spoke clearly and logically, and Qin Feng had no way to vent his anger. He calmly analyzed the situation of the Immortal Island and gradually realized that spending the 2 million Hedonist points wasn't a loss. This was equivalent to discovering a new continent. How do I bring the giant winged fire demon in? Qin Feng asked. Master already has a unique formation to enter the Immortal Island. You only need to activate it with your mind to enter the Immortal Island. You can also pull humans and beasts in. Just as Little Pig finished speaking, a gigantic creature descended from the sky. After a massive explosion, a gigantic crater was blasted into the ground. The giant winged fire demon looked around with a dumbfounded expression, finding all of this incomprehensible. Seeing the giant winged fire demon, the flaming golden eagle and glacial snow mastiff became nervous. These two spiritual beasts' cultivation levels weren't high yet, so they were like children in front of the fire demon. Fire demon, from now on, this is your home. Qin Feng leaped onto the fire demon's shoulder. Fire demon was still in a daze as he roared at Qin Feng. Little Pig, what kind of bird language is this guy speaking? As a spiritual pet, Little Pig was proficient in beast language. Master, the fire demon said that the spiritual chi here is abundant. It likes it here, but there's nothing to eat here. It misses the fire demon tree and its little fire beasts. Qin Feng rolled his eyes. He couldn't let it bring the fire demon tree in, right? That tree was too big, Qin Feng couldn't move it. However, he heard the fire demon roar again. Little Pig said, Master, the fire demon said it wants to go back and bring the fire demon tree in. Qin Feng was speechless. He activated his mind and the image of the celestial mist disappeared. In front of him was the gigantic fire demon tree and the surrounding fire beasts. Young Master Qiao, say something. Don't scare Xiaojin. As soon as he came out, Qin Feng felt Hua Xiaojin shake his arm. She was so anxious that tears rolled down her cheeks. Qin Feng hugged Hua Xiaojin and patted her head. I'm fine, Xiaojin. Let's dig out this fire demon tree and I'll take you to a new place. Hua Xiaojin was stunned. She stared at Qin Feng in disbelief. Young Master Qiao, why you're not joking, are you? This tree is too big, how are we going to dig it? Just as Hua Xiaojin was feeling depressed, she heard a series of angry roars. When she saw the giant winged fire demon uprooting the fire demon tree, her eyeballs nearly fell to the ground. Seeing that the fire demon was making a move, the thousands of fire beasts also began to help out. However, the fire demon tree was simply too huge. The beasts busied themselves for a long time to no avail. Qin Feng gave the giant winged fire demon an order. Instantly, the fire demon led the group of fire beasts and retreated to one side. He leaped into the air, and several hundred meters of golden saber chi rained down, blasting the ground around the fire demon tree into smithereens. The roots under the ground were revealed. They crisscrossed and were as complicated as the traffic map of the capital. Qin Feng struck the ground a few more times and chopped off some of the messy branches of the roots. He had the fire demon pull up the tree again. Roar! The enraged roar shook the heavens. The fire demon unleashed all of its abilities, and with the help of hundreds of fire beasts, the towering fire demon tree finally loosened a little. When the deepest root was pulled out, the ground within a radius of 100 meters was lifted up. Rumble! The fire demon tree fell to the ground. It was as if the sea-stabilizing divine needle had fallen. The ground within a few hundred meters shook violently as if there was an earthquake. Master, the fire demon tree is a spirit tree. It needs to be planted underground in time to absorb spirit energy. Otherwise, it will die very quickly, Little Pig reminded. Qin Feng didn't waste any time. In an instant, the fire demon and the thousands of fire beasts entered the immortal island with the fire demon tree. Ah! Where is this? Young Master Qiao, what happened? It was Hua Xiaojin's first time entering the immortal island. She was so frightened that she threw herself into Qin Feng's arms. The thousands of fire beasts were howling in a frenzy. A few of them were trembling in fear. Xiaojun, this is my secret base. Only the people I trust the most can enter. You can look around first. I'll bring the fire demon tree back. At this moment, the flaming golden condor and the glacial snow mastiff were frolicking in the open space. The golden-haired lion king and the other heroes were cultivating. Hua Xiaojun looked at them in a daze. Then, she looked at the immortal mist surrounding her. She still felt like she was dreaming. After some effort, Qin Fen and the beasts had replanted the fire demon tree. The giant winged fire demon roared excitedly at the sky. The fire beasts gradually adapted to their new home. They ran around in the open space. It seemed like they liked their new home very much. Master, the area you have now is not small. You can start building and renovating it. Little Pig suggested. Qin Fen looked at the open space with a radius of a few kilometers. He had the same intention. The spirit energy on the immortal island was extremely dense. Even a random piece of trash on the ground was comparable to a low-grade spirit stone in China. Qin Fen planned to build a few castles on this open space and plan an herb garden. Later on, he would remodel it according to the layout of Hero City in the outside world. Hua Tuo was the best at herb gardens. However, Hua Tuo was still in Hero City in the secular world. Now that the systems functions of Heroes Alliance and the Spacetime Gate were no longer working, he could not get Hua Tuo over. Qin Fen took out some spirit herbs and spirit plants from the Emerald Spirit Ring and asked Shimen Chueshua and the other heroes to plant them. As for the construction of the castles, he left it to the giant winged fire demon. It had thousands of fire beasts, so it was a piece of cake. Rumble. Qin Fen did not know how long he had stayed on the immortal island. Suddenly, a muffled sound came from his body. Hua Xiaojun was so frightened that she was at a loss. She asked worriedly. Qin Fen, on the other hand, was pleasantly surprised. He realized that he had broken through to stage 7 vital energy. However, he did not deliberately cultivate and break through on the immortal island. From this, it could be seen that the spirit energy on the immortal island was extremely dense. Rumble. Qin Fen was overjoyed when he broke through. He leaped into the air and slashed down with his saber. The golden saber aura became even more violent. The golden light was dazzling, as if it had condensed into a substantial saber. The saber aura spanned 400 to 500 meters. The moment it landed, the ground cracked. Hua Xiaojun was dumbfounded. Young Master Qiao. So you've broken through. Qin Fen was very satisfied with his current strength. Not long ago, when he fought against Yang Gang, he could not resist at all by relying on the power of his martial arts. But now, if he encountered a stage 8 vital energy expert again, he would not be unable to fight back, even if he could not kill his opponent easily. Under Qin Fen's arrangements, the immortal island began to develop in an orderly manner. He looked at the place where the immortal Qi lingered for a long time. In the end, he gave up on the idea of stepping into those areas. Since this was a cultivation continent, the experts or spiritual beasts that existed were definitely extremely powerful. With his current strength, he was clearly extremely weak. With a slight thought, Qin Fen and Hua Xiaojun had already returned to the Fire Beast Battalion. Hua Xiaojun's eyes widened again. She felt that all of this was a dream. Young Master Qiao, we're back. Where's that super demonic beast and your friends? Qin Fen left the giant winged fire demon, Duanyu, and the others on the immortal island. He also instructed them not to go to other areas of the immortal island. They're still on the immortal island. Let's go to the Thousand Shadow sect now. Qin Fen came to the Divine Continent to find his mother and Zhao Ling Xian at the Thousand Shadow sect. He would not change his plans because of anything. Qin Fan carried Hua Xiaojun on the flaming dragon horse and galloped away. Hua Xiaojun's expression was sluggish. Clearly, she had not completely recovered from the shock of the immortal island. After running for an unknown amount of time, the two of them arrived at the entrance of the Fire Beast Battalion from the depths of the base. Originally, there were over 100 sect disciples in the Fire Beast Battalion doing missions. However, because Qin Fan had previously collected more than half of the fire spirit stones from the bodies of the fire beasts, there were not many people in the huge Fire Beast Battalion now. However, the Blazing Sun sect's elder, Yang Su, was still guarding the entrance with 7 or 8 disciples. When they saw Qin Fan on the horse, they immediately blocked the exit with cold expressions. "Young Master Qiao, it's those bad guys again." Hua Xiaojun grabbed Qin Fan's arm worriedly. Qin Fan patted the back of her hand lightly. He did not care about Yang Su and the others at all. Before he broke through to the stage 7 vital energy, he could already kill Yang Su, let alone now. "Stinking brat, you still dare to come out?" Yang Su's expression was ferocious. He looked like he wanted to skin Qin Fan alive. Qin Fan sneered, "Why wouldn't I dare to come out? As for you guys, if you don't move aside, I will make you regret it." The 7 or 8 disciples were so frightened that they took a few steps back. They had personally witnessed Qin Fan's valiant skills. This action angered Yang Su half to death. However, he pretended to be calm and said, "Look at this Fire Beast Battalion. Right now, there isn't even a single disciple who came to do missions. This is all thanks to you. If you want to leave peacefully today, then hand over all the fire spirit stones on you." Qin Fan was amused. This Yang Su still wanted to rob him. He was simply courting death. "What does it have to do with me that no one in the Fire Beast Battalion is doing missions? I will give you 3 seconds. If you don't get lost, I will take your dog life." Qin Fan was so domineering that Yang Su was fuming with anger. He was, after all, the great elder of the Blazing Sun sect and a powerful existence at the stage 7 vital energy. However, he was somewhat afraid of Qin Fan from the bottom of his heart. Based on the strength that Qin Fan displayed during the battle with the fire beast, Yang Su admitted that he was not Qin Fan's match. However, Yang Su did not back down and shouted, "Stinking brat, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. I know that your skills are not bad, but you are still alone. Why don't I tell you a secret? This place is guarded by my sect's vice patriarch, Yang Gang. Patriarch Yang Gang has already stepped into the stage 8 vital energy a long time ago. If you wait for him to come out, you brat." Qin Fan's ears were about to grow calluses. He suddenly leaped from the back of his horse and slashed with his blade. There was a muffled thunder-like sound in the sky, and a golden blade aura that was hundreds of meters long instantly landed on the ground. Yang Su and the disciples behind him were dumbfounded. They did not expect that Qin Fan would still dare to make a move even after knowing that Vice Patriarch Yang Gang was guarding this place. Was this brat tired of living? Ah! Yang Gang. I have already eliminated him in the depths of the Fire Beast Battalion. You guys better hurry and reincarnate. Rumble. Chapter 1434. Hua Xiaojun suddenly realized that young Master Qiao was a great calamity. Wherever he went, there was either an intense battle or the place was razed to the ground. Look at the Fire Beast Battalion. There were no fire beasts or fire demons, no disciples on missions, and no fierce sun gate guarding this place. However, Hua Xiaojun was infatuated with such a tyrannical and barbaric calamity. The two left the Fire Beast Battalion and rushed towards the formation to enter Poison Sun City. According to the information sent back by the scout plane, the 3 girls from the Thousand Shadows sect had already left Poison Sun City. The formation to leave this place was not always available. When Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun arrived, there were already many sect disciples gathered here. After asking around, they found out that they had to gather 50 people before the people from Fire Beacon City would activate the formation to return to the city. More and more people gathered, and there were already more than 40 people. Everyone had finished their missions. Some sat on the ground and began to cultivate, while others gathered together to brag. Hua Xiaojun was still wearing the short skirt and sleeveless top that Qin Feng gave her. She looked out of place among the long robes and long sleeves. Dozens of pairs of eyes stared at her restlessly in the dark, making Hua Xiaojun feel very shy. Yo! Where did this beauty come from? Why did you run out without even wearing pants? A tall and sturdy man couldn't take it anymore and walked towards Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun. Behind the sturdy man were 4 disciples. From their clothes, they should be from the Iron Armor Army. Are you blind? My woman is wearing a skirt. I advise you to scram, I don't want to kill anyone right now. Qin Feng's expression turned cold. If it wasn't for the fact that they needed 50 people to teleport back, he would have already killed the man in front of him. The sturdy man suddenly became angry. He glared at Qin Feng and roared, "Stinking brat, are you crazy? Do you know who I am? Iron Armor Army's little elder Xiong Ba. I want you to kowtow and beg for mercy, or else I'll teach you a lesson." Seeing that there was a commotion, many people came over to watch. Hua Xiaojun angrily touched the violet cloud sword on her back, ready to attack at any time. Qin Feng couldn't be bothered to look at Xiong Ba. This brat was only at True Qi Stage 6. With Qin Feng's current strength, he could kill him with one slash. People are coming. Another 2 groups of people are coming. We can teleport now. However, at this moment, a cry of surprise came from the other side. Everyone looked over and saw that there really were 8 people. For a moment, everyone ran to the circle of the array formation and stood there. Even those who were there to watch the show were gone. Qin Feng couldn't be bothered with Xiong Ba. He hugged Hua Xiaojun and walked towards the formation. At this time, the circle was full of people. Someone had already started counting. Oh no, we have 52 people here. What do we do if there are 2 more? This array formation could only be activated by 50 people, and only 50 people could be transported at a time. It was like taking an elevator. If there were more people, the array formation would be overloaded, and it would be easy for something to happen. Knowing that they could return to the city, Xiong Ba put away his petty thoughts about Hua Xiaojun. He brought his 4 disciples to stand in the circle and yelled in a strange tone, "If we get rid of that adulterous couple, we'll have exactly 50 people." Everyone looked at Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun. Seeing that Qin Feng was young and Hua Xiaojun was a woman, they immediately agreed to Xiong Ba's suggestion. Hua Xiaojun was infuriated as she shouted at Xiong Ba, "What right do you have to make us stay? It's not like we were the last to arrive." The crowd pretended not to hear Hua Xiaojun's grumbles. Xiong Ba said with a smug smile, "Why do you ask? Your team has the fewest people, so it serves you right to be bullied. Are you indignant? Come beat me if you have the guts. But I have to warn you, don't get pushed down by me if you can't beat me." Ha! Hua Xiaojun's eyes turned moist from anger. Just as she was about to draw her sword and stab him, she saw a middle-aged man walk out of the array formation. He was dressed in Xing Shan's attire. "Junior brothers, let's wait for the next batch," said the man. Xing Shan's 4 disciples were taken aback as they looked at the man incredulously. "Senior brother Fangjing, the array formation is about to be activated. Why are we leaving?" "Senior brother, it will take a long time to gather 50 people. We might have to wait in the desert for a few days and nights." Fangjing did not seem to hear his junior brother's grumbles. His expression turned cold as he ordered, I said to wait for the next batch. We were the last to arrive. How can we take advantage of others who arrived first? The crowd was dumbfounded. The disciples from the various sects looked at Fangjing as though he was an idiot. This was the land of China. It was a place where fists and power spoke. How could he be reasonable? What a joke. The 4 disciples felt extremely depressed, but they had no choice but to listen to their eldest senior brother and walk out of the array formation. With 4 fewer people in the array formation, there was no way to activate it. The crowd grumbled. A few of the stronger disciples cursed Fangjing without any scruples. Xiongba was infuriated as well. He pointed at Fangjing and roared, "Darn punk, if you don't want to leave, don't waste our time. I advise you to obediently bring your men back. If not, I'll make sure you never leave Poison Sun City." The others stood on Xiongba's side, clamoring for Xing Shan's men to return. Xing Shan's 4 disciples secretly glared at Fangjing, but they could not grumble. "Heroes, our Xing Shan isn't in a rush to return. We aren't in your way, right? Are you trying to order Xing Shan around?" Fangjing was a little infuriated. Xiongba jumped out and stood in front of Fangjing with a huge saber. He roared, "Who the fuck cares about your Xing Shan's lousy matters? If you don't leave now, none of us can leave. I'll give you 3 seconds to consider. If you don't leave by then, I'll cleave you in half." Xiongba's body suddenly emitted rich quintessential qi. He fully displayed his quintessential qi stage 6 strength. Fangjing's eyes turned nervous. He had just stepped into quintessential qi stage 5. "Why don't we do this? My 3 junior brothers, the youth, and the woman will make a total of 4 people. You guys will leave with 50 people." Fangjing was a little afraid, but he did not wish to take advantage of Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun. The matter had been resolved, but Xiongba refused to back down. He raised his saber above his head and shouted, "I want the 5 of you to join my team. The adulterous couple will stay here. If you dare speak any more nonsense, I'll take your life." The atmosphere was at a stalemate. Fangjing's face was ashen. His hand secretly reached for the saber at his waist, ready to attack at any time. Suddenly, he heard a loud noise. When he looked at Xiongba again, Fangjing jumped in fright. Why did this person's head disappear? Whoosh! The people in the formation circle also noticed the situation. Immediately, there was an uproar. Someone died. Fuck! Where's that person's head? Can you not scare people in broad daylight? I didn't see anything. Who did it? Xing Shan doesn't have this kind of strength. The 4 disciples of the Iron Armor Army suddenly woke up and ran to Xiongba's side. "Young Elder Xiongba, are you okay? Say something." One of the disciples was flustered. His words almost made Qin Feng laugh. Xiongba's head was cut off by his fire blade. How could he say something? "Brother, let's go into the formation together. Out of the 3 of you, 1 will stay here." Qin Feng had already walked up. He thought highly of Fangjing's character. After being in the Divine Land for so long, this was the first time he met such a kind and honest person. When Qin Feng stood in the formation circle with Hua Xiaojun in his arms, Xing Shan and the Iron Armor Army were still in a daze. The disciple of the Iron Armor Army suddenly woke up and rushed toward Qin Feng fiercely. "You killed young Elder Xiongba, didn't you? You brat, you're asking for death. He must have sneaked up on us. Let's go together and kill this adulterous couple." The 4 of them were so fast that they covered the distance of dozens of meters in a few breaths. The disciple in the front was about to enter the formation circle when he saw a flash of fire. In the next moment, the man's legs landed on the ground. His upper body was still in the air when he was hit by Qin Feng's palm and flew 100 meters away. Boom! There was a loud explosion in the air. The three people who were rushing over suddenly stopped. They looked at the legs on the ground and the upper body 100 meters away. They were so scared that they almost knelt on the ground. If I'm not wrong, there are exactly 50 people here. Everyone, hurry up and come in. Qin Feng acted as if nothing had happened and didn't even bother to look at the dead disciple. The people inside the formation were dumbfounded. They thought that Qin Feng was easy to bully, but now they realized how powerful he was. The three surviving disciples of the Iron Armor Army and Xing Shan's group all entered the formation. Not long after, the teleportation formation was activated. After an unknown amount of time, everyone landed in the northern outskirts of Fire Beacon City. The moment their feet touched the ground, many disciples immediately left. They were helping Xiongba and wanted Qin Feng to wait for the next group, but now, they were afraid that Qin Feng would settle the score. Qin Feng didn't have the time to care about these ants, but he wasn't someone who would let others bully him. Seeing the three disciples of the Iron Armor Army running for their lives, Qin Feng's cold voice came over. Where do you think you are going? Qin Feng's voice seemed to have a magical power, scaring the three of them into immediately stopping. Their bodies involuntarily trembled, and one of them said, "Young hero, please spare us, we know we were wrong." Qin Feng didn't care. How could these people truly repent? They were just afraid of Qin Feng's strength. If Qin Feng wasn't stronger than Xiongba, then either Hua Xiaozhen would have been violated, or they would have to wait for several days in Poison Sun City. Whoosh! A flame suddenly appeared and two of them immediately fell to the ground. The remaining one realized Qin Feng's ruthlessness and her originally weak appearance greatly changed. With a ferocious expression, she roared, "Stinking brat, you better not act recklessly. This is the outskirts of Fire Beacon City with people from the Fire Beacon Hall guarding it. You dare to kill people here. The Fire Beacon Hall will not forgive you." Puchi! Before the disciple could finish, his body was already separated. A few days ago, when Qin Feng first came to the northern district of the Fire Beacon Hall, he already beat up Deacon Wang Lei in the office. Even now, Deacon Yi was still trying to curry favor with him. Would he be afraid of killing people in the outskirts of Fire Beacon City? Chapter 1435. Brother Fangjing, thank you for your help earlier. After killing the armored army disciples, Qin Feng walked over to Xing Shan as if nothing had happened. Xing Shan's four disciples trembled in fear. Fangjing's eyes were filled with awe. "Why, young hero, you are too polite. With your skills, you do not need my help." Seeing that Fangjing and the others were afraid of him, Qin Feng smiled. "Brother Fangjing, my name is Qiao Feng. I am a disciple of Lingxian sect in Lingxian City. I have important matters to attend to. If you need any help in the future, you can come to Lingxian City to find me." Qin Feng did not have many friends in China. He felt that Fangjing was a good person. Xing Shan's disciples were stunned and looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. Recently, Lingxian City was famous in China. Lingxian sect was seen as one of the most mysterious sections. This was the first time Fangjing and the others met a disciple of Lingxian sect. So young hero Qiao is a disciple of Lingxian sect. No wonder you are so skilled. It is my honor to know such a young and promising talent. Fangjing cupped his fists and said. Qin Feng took out some fire spirit stones and gave them to Fangjing. "I have something to attend to. See you later." Seeing Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen disappear into the distance on flaming dragon horse, Fangjing and the others could not come back to their senses. When the four disciples saw the fire spiritual rock in their senior brother's hands, their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. They thought to themselves that the people from the spiritual immortal sect were too generous. Qin Feng chased after the three women. To avoid being discovered by the three women, he stopped from time to time. After following them for 3 days and 3 nights, he finally stepped into Heaven Domain City. Hey! You two, get off your horses and show me your identity tokens. Just as they reached the city gates, Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun were stopped. At the entrance of the city stood 2 rows of armored guards with spears in their hands. Anyone who wanted to enter the city had to be checked. Hua Xiaojun became nervous, but Qin Feng said calmly, "Officers, my wife and I are poor citizens of Distant Ice City. A while ago, there was a great war in Distant Ice City, so we were on the run. Unknowingly, we came to Sky Region City. We want to settle down here in the future." 3 days ago, the 2 of them had left Poison Sun City. After leaving, they had chased after the 3 beautiful women through the night. Their faces were covered in dirt and dust, and they really looked like refugees who had fled here. In the divine Great Land, what the big cities needed the most were the poor and strong men. They were the lowest level servants in a city, the cheapest labor force. The leader of the guards waved his hand and was about to let the 2 of them in when his gaze suddenly fell on Hua Xiaojun. "Wait, are you hiding any weapons on you? Or a disciple of the Distant Ice City's Holy Gate? I want to search you." "Great Lord Imperial Guard, we are just ordinary poor people. How could we have any weapons?" Qin Feng said with a smile. The guard captain ignored Qin Feng's words and stared straight at Hua Xiaojun. Because there was some dirt on Hua Xiaojun's face, the guard in front did not take a closer look. Only now did he realize that she was such a beauty. Qin Feng understood the guard captain's intentions and was instantly enraged. However, he could not start a massacre here. If he did that, he would definitely be hunted down by the entire Sky Region City's government and the Holy Gate. How could he go to the Thousand Shadows sect to find them? Hua Xiaojun could also see that the guard captain was up to no good. Her face turned cold and her hand reached for the purple sunset sword on her back. Before she could make a move, she was pulled into Qin Feng's arms. "Lord Imperial Guard Captain, we really did not bring any weapons. If you really want to search us, then find a place with fewer people. My wife is an introverted person. How could she let you touch her body in front of everyone?" Qin Feng's words were ambiguous. The guard captain's eyes turned green. "Hee hee. At least you know what's good for you. Then you stay here. I'll bring your wife over there to search them." Hua Xiaojun glared at the guard captain angrily. She secretly grabbed the corner of Qin Feng's clothes and looked at him pitifully. Qin Feng patted the back of her hand and smiled at the guard captain. "My lord, it's not like you only want to search my wife. You also want to search me, right? I'll bring my wife and go with you." The guard captain glanced at Qin Feng in disdain. Qin Feng was a man. Why would he have any interest in searching him? However, in order to be conservative, he impatiently waved his hand and said, "All right, the 2 of you, follow me. You guys, guard the city gates and wait for me to return." "Yes, Imperial Guard Captain Ma." The guard standing guard at the entrance of the Heavenly Region City stood at attention as they watched Ma Dong walk away. Envy filled their hearts. They naturally knew why Ma Dong was bringing Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun. When they thought of Hua Xiaojun's angelic appearance and devilish figure, the guards all became restless. Under Ma Dong's lead, Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun arrived at a remote courtyard. This was the guards' dormitory. There was no one in the courtyard in broad daylight. Cough cough. "You brat, go wait in the room next door. I'll search your body after I search your wife." Seeing that there was no one in the courtyard, Ma Dong was satisfied. How could Hua Xiaojun be willing to go to a room alone with him? She immediately dove into Qin Feng's arms and refused to come out. Why aren't you leaving? Are you looking for trouble for no reason? Do you believe that I won't treat you as a mountain bandit and bring you to the yamen? Ma Dong was a little impatient and purposely said some harsh words to scare Qin Feng. Qin Feng had already sized up the courtyard. After confirming that there was no one else in the courtyard, he felt relieved. How do you want to search my wife? Qin Feng suddenly smiled and looked at Ma Dong. Ma Dong was stunned. He felt that Qin Feng had suddenly changed into a different person. Just a moment ago, Qin Feng was still so respectful. Why was there a playful smile on his face now? However, Ma Dong didn't think too much about it. As a yamen runner, how could he be afraid of a poor commoner like Qin Feng? Stinking brat, why do you care how I search your body? I advise you to quickly scram to the side. Otherwise, I'll kill you with a single slash of my blade. Ma Dong pulled out the long blade at his waist. Qin Feng acted as if he didn't see it. Suddenly, his large hand started to touch Hua Xiaozhen's body. Do you want to search me like this? Search my entire body. As Qin Feng spoke, his large hand unscrupulously reached into Hua Xiaozhen's collar. Hua Xiaozhen didn't resist at all. Her originally cold and indifferent face suddenly turned crimson. She looked at Qin Feng shyly and awkwardly. Young Master Qiao, Qin Feng's hand suddenly exerted force. Before Hua Xiaozhen could finish her sentence, it turned into a seductive shout. How could Ma Dong resist such temptation? His eyes lit up as he raised his blade and rushed over. Brat, your wife is really like a fairy. Let me help you take care of her in the future, rumble. Ma Dong's blade descended. It was as if he wanted to hack Qin Feng to death. However, the long blade missed, leaving a shallow scar on the ground. Just as Ma Dong was wondering why Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen had suddenly disappeared, a violent gust of wind came from behind him. Before he could turn his head to see what had happened, his entire body exploded into a bloody mess. Hua Xiaozhen had long since gotten used to Qin Feng's ruthless attacks. However, she didn't have the slightest bit of sympathy for Ma Dong. Furthermore, she realized that the people young Master Qiao killed were basically all bad people. As Qin Feng killed Ma Dong with a single slash, his other hand didn't forget to search Hua Xiaozhen's collar. Hua Xiaozhen's small face turned red. Her voice was as soft as a mosquito's. Young Master Qiao, do you want to? Let this lowly servant serve you. Just as Hua Xiaozhen was about to undo the buttons on her collar, she was stopped by Qin Feng. Now is not the time. This guard captain is dead. Very soon, someone will put out a bounty on our heads. The most important thing right now is to find the Thousand Shadow sect as soon as possible. Hua Xiaozhen hurriedly tidied up her clothes. Meanwhile, Qin Feng burned Ma Dong to ashes with a ball of destructive flames. After dealing with these matters, Qin Feng let Hua Xiaozhen leave first. After a while, he ran to the entrance of Heavenly Region City. Hee. Sirs, Sir Ma Dong has already searched my body. I told you I didn't bring any weapons. Qin Feng greeted the guards with a silly look on his face. Those people sneered in their hearts. They were all very arrogant and completely ignored Qin Feng. Why isn't my wife out yet? Logically speaking, the search should be over soon. Qin Feng began to complain after waiting for a while. One of the guards sneered. Idiot, I advise you to hurry up and enter the city. Don't think about your wife. An evil glint flashed in the eyes of the other guards. They had also taken a fancy to Hua Xiaozhen's beauty. If they could scare this idiot Qin Feng away, wouldn't that woman become everyone's plaything in the future? You lowly commoner, why aren't you entering the city after searching me? If you don't want to go in, then scram. I think this unruly commoner is here to rebel. Let's just capture him and bring him to the yamen. the guards tried to scare Qin Feng, and in the end, Qin Feng was scared away. Seeing Qin Feng disappear into the distance, the guards laughed complacently, imagining the scene of them pushing Hua Xiaojun down tonight. Qin Feng walked to the corner of the street and saw Hua Xiaojun waiting there. Hua Xiaojun threw herself into his arms, looking nervous and afraid. "Xiaojun, don't be afraid. I won't leave you behind." Qin Feng understood Hua Xiaojun's thoughts. This woman was too reliant on him and saw him as her entire world. Hua Xiaojun gradually calmed down and asked with a puzzled expression, "Young Master Qiao, why did you let me leave first? Where did you go just now?" "That Ma Dong's death will definitely attract the attention of the Yamen. I believe that those guards will pin the crime on me. Now that I've burned Ma Dong and purposely went to find those guards, they won't think that Ma Dong is dead. At most, they'll think that he went somewhere to have fun. By the time they realize that Ma Dong is dead, I'm afraid that we'll have already found the Thousand Shadows sect and completed our mission." Hua Xiaojun understood and looked at Qin Feng with admiration. "Young Master Qiao, you're so smart." Qin Feng patted her head and continued on his way on the flaming dragon horse. Chapter 1436. In the Divine Continent, there were many holy sects and experts. However, there were 5 most powerful sects, known as the Divine Continent's 5 supreme sects. These 5 sects had many disciples, and their sect leaders were unfathomably powerful. They were existences that other holy sects, big or small, did not dare to offend. The Thousand Shadows sect was one of the Divine Continent's 5 supreme sects. The 3 women had already returned to the Thousand Shadows sect, but they found that the elders and above were not there. At the same time, the important figures of the Thousand Shadows sect were gathered in the main hall. As one of the Divine Continent's 5 supreme sects, the Thousand Shadows sect occupied a large area. The main hall was as luxurious as a palace. There was a long red carpet in the middle of the hall, extending all the way to the main hall's throne. On the throne, which was made of spirit stones, sat a beautiful woman. No one could tell her age from her appearance. She looked like a young woman in her early 20s, but everyone present knew that this was a woman who had lived for nearly 100 years. She was the Thousand Shadows sect leader, Qing Qin. 2 rows of women stood in front of the hall. They were all Thousand Shadows sect elders and vice-sect leaders. However, these people were not the main characters of this meeting. The main character was a beautiful woman standing in the middle of the red carpet. She wore a white robe and stood upright, her exquisite figure faintly discernible. There was a white veil covering half of her face, but the pair of big eyes that was revealed could charm tens of thousands of male disciples. Sect leader Qing Qin, who was sitting on the spirit stone chair in the hall, stood up and looked at the woman standing on the red carpet. "Qing Ling Xian, your talent is outstanding and you're a genius. As long as you focus on cultivating our sect's charm technique, you'll be able to dominate the Divine Continent in the future. You've joined our sect for exactly 3 months, and you've broken through from an ordinary person to stage 4 true Qi. This speed is truly enviable. Why can't you just stay in the Thousand Shadows sect?" The woman in white stubbornly raised her head and said, "Senior Qing Qin, my name is Zhao Ling Xian, not Qing Ling Xian. I was tricked here by you, and now I'm homesick. Please let me go." The woman who had caught the eye of the Thousand Shadows sect leader was actually Zhao Ling Xian. 3 months ago, she had caught the eye of her current master, Great Elder Qing Bai, and was brought to the Divine Continent from the mortal world. Originally, Zhao Ling Xian wanted to quickly break through so that she could fight alongside Qin Feng, so she agreed to go to the sect with Qing Bai to cultivate. However, she never thought that the Thousand Shadows sect would be in another world. She found that this was a completely unfamiliar place, and she didn't even have a way to return to Hero City, as soon as Zhao Ling Xian entered the Thousand Shadows sect, she regretted it. Every day, she begged Master Qing Bai to let her go, but the Thousand Shadows sect refused to let her go. Zhao Ling Xian was a rare beauty, born for the Thousand Shadows sect's charm techniques. Seeing that Zhao Ling Xian's attitude was as resolute as ever, everyone in the hall sighed. Qing Chen's expression turned cold, and he suddenly said, "Clear Spirit Immortal, there's no harm in telling you a truth. This is a different world from the Huaxia secular world that you are in. It's not impossible to return to the secular world from the Divine Land, but you'll have to wait for 20 years, when the formation weakens before you can leave. To put it simply, for the next 20 years, you can only stay in the Thousand Shadows sect and train hard. No one can send you back." Zhao Ling Xian felt as if she had been struck by lightning. She stood on the red carpet in a daze, unable to come to her senses. Her tears flowed uncontrollably. Did she have to wait for 20 years? How could she wait? What if Qin Feng forgot about her after she left? Or, would Qin Feng look different in 20 years? Would he also change his appearance? If they met again, would they be able to recognize each other? I don't want to wait 20 years. I want to go back now. Hurry and let me go, I don't want to stay here, Zhao Ling Xian suddenly yelled and screamed like a madwoman. She sat on the ground and cried like a helpless little girl. In the Divine Land, she had no relatives, and everything was strange and cold. How could she endure 20 years here? Qing Bai couldn't bear to watch anymore. She walked up and put her hand on Zhao Ling Xian's shoulder as she comforted her. "Ling Xian, sect leader Qing Qin is telling the truth. The formation that leads to the Huaxia secular world only weakens once every 20 years. Only when the formation weakens for a month or so can we enter and leave the secular world. Otherwise, we'll be destroyed by air currents during the teleportation." Zhao Ling Xian thought that sect leader Qing Qin was lying to make her stay. However, after hearing Qing Bai's master's words, her last trace of hope was extinguished. Zhao Ling Xian suddenly thought of committing suicide. She simply couldn't endure 20 years of suffering. Her longing for Qin Feng was tormenting her to death. She would rather die quickly. However, before Zhao Ling Xian could stab her dagger into her heart, it was slapped to the ground by Qing Bai. The crowd gasped, and sect leader Qing Qin shook her head and sighed. She was helpless against Zhao Ling Xian's stubbornness. "Ling Xian, why are you so stupid? You'd rather commit suicide than stay in the Thousand Shadows sect and bitterly cultivate for 20 years before returning to the outside world. What are you thinking?" Qing Bai's eyes reddened. Although she had only known Zhao Ling Xian for 3 months, she was very fond of Zhao Ling Xian and took care of her like her own child. She really couldn't send Zhao Ling Xian away right now. Otherwise, she would definitely let Zhao Ling Xian leave. After failing to commit suicide, Zhao Ling Xian sat dazedly on the ground like a soulless puppet. It was as if she couldn't hear anything anyone asked her. The Thousand Shadows sect's elders and sect leader felt quite helpless. Qing Bai couldn't bear to see this happen, so she stepped out and said, "Sect leader Qing Qin, since this spirit celestial disciple insists on not joining our sect and doesn't want to bitterly cultivate our sect's charm techniques, how about we stop forcing her?" Another elder immediately stepped out and retorted, "How can we do that? Right now, the Thousand Shadows sect is in a crisis. Ever since senior martial sister Qing Ying disappeared, old sect leader Qing Qin has disappeared. Sect leader Qing Qin is shouldering the sect's responsibilities alone, and she won't be able to hold on for much longer." The Thousand Shadows sect's vice sect leader also spoke up, "Our Thousand Shadows sect is one of the Divine Continent's 5 Supremes. Originally, our sect's strength was at the top of the 5 Supremes, but because senior martial sister Qing Ying and old sect leader Qing Qin disappeared, our strength is now at the bottom of the 5 Supremes. We can be replaced by other new sects at any time." Faced with everyone's rebuttal, Qing Bai still insisted on speaking up for Zhao Lingxian. Vice sect leader Qing Yi, although our Thousand Shadows sect has fallen, at least our foundation is still there. You and sect leader Qing Chen are both top-notch experts. How can other holy sects replace our position as one of the 5 supremes so easily? Qing Chen sighed and said, Qing Bai, you underestimate the sacred sects of the divine continent. Just the newly risen spiritual immortal sect alone has the potential to take away our position as one of the Thousand Shadows sect's 5 supremes. That spirit celestial sect is mysterious and unpredictable. In one night, they dominated Distant Ice City and Meteor City and changed their name to Spirit Celestial City. I heard that a few days ago, an ordinary disciple of Spirit Celestial sect caused a ruckus in the Science and Technology Museum and killed a group of Stage 6 and Stage 7 Supremes. Once Qing Chen's words came out, the crowd gasped in surprise. An ordinary disciple of Spirit Celestial sect could kill Stage 7 Supremes. From the looks of it, this Spirit Celestial sect was truly incredible. Just as the atmosphere in the main hall was at a stalemate, Zhao Lingxian, who had been sitting in a daze, suddenly jumped up. This sudden action gave everyone a fright. Lingxian, before Qing Bai could finish, Zhao Lingxian immediately interrupted, Master Qing Bai, did you just say Spirit Celestial sect? There's also a Spirit Celestial City. What's going on? Where's Spirit Celestial City? I want to go now. Zhao Lingxian's actions were too abnormal, causing everyone to scratch their heads in confusion. However, some people realized that the newly risen Spirit Celestial sect in the Divine Continent had the same name as Zhao Lingxian. However, no one thought that the sect had anything to do with Zhao Lingxian. That was simply a fantasy. Lingxian, don't get excited. A month ago, Distant Ice City and Meteor City were occupied and changed their names to Spirit Celestial City. At the same time, a Spirit Celestial sect appeared in the Divine Continent. I've never heard of this sect before, and I don't know what it used to be, Qing Bai hurriedly explained. Zhao Lingxian's beautiful eyes brightened. She calculated the time and thought about the name Spirit Celestial City. This was definitely not a coincidence. She realized that Qin Feng had already come to the Divine Continent to find her. Zhao Lingxian, who was originally in extreme despair, was so excited that she wanted to shout a few times. She wanted nothing more than to rush into Qin Feng's arms, kiss his lips passionately, and give her body to him like crazy. She knew that Qin Feng wouldn't leave her behind. Even if he went to another world, Qin Feng still chased after her without hesitation. Sect leader Qing Qin, I want to go to Spirit Celestial City. Zhao Lingxian made this request again. This time, her expression was resolute, and it didn't seem like she was joking. The people from the Thousand Shadows sect became more and more confused. They couldn't understand what Zhao Lingxian was thinking. Qing Chen's expression changed again and again. In the end, he said, all right, I can take you to Spirit Celestial City, but not now. In a bit, a genius disciple from the Wind Sun Palace will come to our sect for an exchange. You will represent the Thousand Shadows sect's genius female disciple to receive him. Zhao Lingxian's expression changed. Sect leader, is that Wind Sun Palace disciple a man or a woman? Qing Chen calmly replied, an outstanding youth. Zhao Lingxian's expression immediately turned cold. Her tone was resolute. Then I won't receive him. I want to go to Spirit Celestial City. Rumble. There was a loud explosion. Qing Chen smashed the armrest of the spirit stone chair into pieces. The group of elders and vice sect leaders below lowered their heads in fear. Lingxian, this matter isn't up to you. If you don't receive him, then don't even think about going to Spirit Celestial City. Qing Chen's tone was unquestionable. Zhao Lingxian was so angry that she stomped her feet. However, she knew that she wasn't Qing Chen's match and couldn't resist at all. Sect leader, this matter can be discussed again. Qing Bai couldn't help but step forward to ease the atmosphere. Qing Chen was also very anxious about the sect's matters. He sighed and said, "Take Ling Xian away first. The Wind Sun Palace is also one of the 5 supreme beings in the Divine Continent. This time, they came to establish good relations with our Thousand Shadows sect. If we seize this opportunity, our Thousand Shadows sect can still hold on as one of the 5 supreme beings." Otherwise, Qing Chen didn't continue. Qing Bai understood. "Sect leader, I'll take Ling Xian away first. I'll try to persuade her again." Chapter 1437. Great Elder Qing Bai had already left with Zhao Ling Xian. The elders in the main hall all sighed. Thinking of the Thousand Shadows sect's current situation, everyone was filled with anxiety. Sect leader Qing Chen, this disciple has an urgent matter to report. At this moment, a female disciple rushed in from outside. "Speak," Qing Chen said with a wave of his sleeve. "A man has barged into our Thousand Shadows sect, saying he's looking for Zhao Ling Xian and Great Elder Qing Ying." The expressions of everyone in the hall changed drastically. Qing Chen quickly walked down the tall platform and said, "Quick, bring me over to take a look." At this time, the entrance of the Thousand Shadows sect was in a mess. Dozens of women in white stood in a line with swords in their hands, as if they were facing a formidable enemy. Qin Feng stood with his hands behind his back, facing the group of women. However, he did not see Hua Xiaozhen. Qin Feng was afraid that a fierce battle would ensue if he forced his way into the Thousand Shadows sect, so he had Hua Xiaozhen wait for him in a secluded area outside the sect. "You arrogant disciple, how dare you trespass on my Thousand Shadows sect's territory? I advise you to leave immediately. Otherwise, when the elders and sect master arrive, you won't be able to escape even if you want to." An older woman stood out from the crowd and pointed her sword at Qin Feng with a cold expression. Qin Feng was not afraid in the slightest. He was as lofty and unyielding as a mountain. "I have no ill intentions in coming to your sect. I only want to find 2 people. As long as you let me see them, I will leave immediately." The Thousand Shadows sect's grand senior sister berated, "Nonsense. Our Thousand Shadows sect is one of the 5 venerated sects of the Divine Great Land. Our disciples are of noble status. You can't just meet them as you please. If you don't leave now, don't blame us for being impolite." The Thousand Shadows sect was a sacred place for female cultivators. Aside from male disciples from allied sects who occasionally came to learn, no other male cultivators were allowed to step foot into the Thousand Shadows sect. Now that Qin Feng had suddenly appeared, it naturally angered these female disciples. Both sides refused to back down. Just as the fight was about to break out, a beautiful figure flew over. "Senior Sister Qingyu, please stop. Young hero Qiao, why have you come?" The person who came was Qing Xiu. Qing Mei and Qing Zhu also rushed over. When the 3 women saw Qin Feng standing inside the Thousand Shadows sect, they felt as if they were dreaming. However, they quickly understood that Qin Feng had most likely followed them here. "Junior Sister Qing Xiu, do you know this person?" Qing Yu stared coldly at Qing Xiu, then looked at Qin Feng with a strange expression. Qing Xiu saw through her senior sister's thoughts and quickly explained, "Senior Sister Qingyu, don't misunderstand. Qing Mei, Qing Zhu, and I were out training a few days ago and met young hero Qiao in Poison Sun City. Thanks to young hero's help, we obtained plenty of fire spirit stones and cultivation resources." After hearing Qing Xiu's words, the strange look in Qing Yu's eyes finally dissipated, but she still said forcefully, "Regardless of whether this person has done you any favors or not, He has the audacity to barge into our Thousand Shadow sect. That means he has broken our sect's rules. Naturally, Qing Xiao knew the consequences and hurriedly advised Qin Feng, young Master Qiao, before the sect leader and the elders arrive, you should quickly leave. Qing Mei and Qing Zhu also grabbed their hands and looked at Qin Feng nervously. The three girls had a good impression of Qin Feng and did not want to see him being suppressed by the Thousand Shadow sect. However, Qin Feng did not back down. He had painstakingly come to the divine continent from the Huaxia secular world and had finally stepped into the Thousand Shadow sect. He had not even seen Zhao Lingxian and his mother, so how could he leave? Miss Qing Xiao, you don't have to persuade me anymore. I must see Lingxian and Qingying today. Qin Feng's attitude was resolute. The group of female disciples were a bit confused. The two people Qin Feng was looking for were important figures in the Thousand Shadow sect. What was his relationship with Lingxian and Qingying? These thoughts flashed through Qin Yu's mind, but she did not care too much. She suddenly drew her sword and stabbed forward. Sisters, take him down. Slash. The sound of swords being drawn filled the air. Qing Xiao and the other two girls were so anxious that their foreheads were full of sweat. A row of more than 10,000 Shadow Sect female disciples swung their swords at the same time, as if more than 10 heavenly fairies had descended to the mortal world. Rumble. The ground where Qin Feng was standing instantly exploded into rubble. These female disciples were not ordinary, and they did not hold back when they attacked. They were serious. However, Qin Feng did not attack. He quickly jumped around the empty ground. He did not want to become enemies with the Thousand Shadow sect. After all, Lingxian and his mother were both disciples here. Senior and junior sisters, please stop fighting. Young hero Qiao's cultivation level is high. If he really fights, none of you will be his match. The three girls anxiously ran back and forth. They had seen Qin Feng's powerful skills in the Fire Beast Battalion. Perhaps only sect leader Qin Chen and vice sect leader Qin Yi could take Qin Feng down. The sound of swords rang out in the Thousand Shadow sect. How could the disciples listen to the advice of the three girls? They were aware of Qin Feng's strength. Although he had not attacked, the girls had surrounded him and attacked him for a few minutes, but they had not even touched a single hair on his head. Disciples of the Thousand Shadow sect, I'm here to see someone. I don't want to cause any trouble. If you don't stop now, don't blame me for being impolite. Although Qin Feng's current cultivation level was enough to easily dodge the girls' attacks, his patience was limited. As he dodged, a bellyful of anger rose in his heart. Humph. If you want to fight, then fight. Do you think the disciples of the Thousand Shadow sect are so easily scared? Qin Yu was not afraid at all. Qin Feng suddenly stopped halfway, turned around, and slashed down with his saber. Instantly, 100-meter-long golden saber chi descended from the sky, and the air rumbled endlessly. The female disciples' expressions changed drastically. They hurriedly withdrew their swords and retreated. Rumble. A deep ravine appeared in the ground. This saber strike was so violent that Qin Yu and the girls were dumbfounded. However, Qin Feng had held back. Otherwise, there would be a few corpses left in the ravine. After this strike, the disciples of the Thousand Shadow sect did not dare to act recklessly. Qin Yu's expression was cold. Don't think that you can do whatever you want here just because you're powerful. When my sect leader arrives, let's see if you can still fight back. Since Qin Feng had already attacked, he planned to forcefully take Lingxian and his mother away. He could not wait to see the Thousand Shadow sect leader. If he could defeat the sect leader, who could stop him? If that's the case, then don't talk nonsense here. Hurry up and call your sect leader out to see me. Qin Feng stood there alone with his saber, looking extremely arrogant. Qing Yu and the girls gritted their teeth in anger. They felt that this man was too arrogant. Before Qing Yu could speak, the girls suddenly looked up into the sky and exclaimed. Qin Feng casually glanced over and saw a white figure flash by. Unknowingly, a girl in white had appeared in front of Qing Yu and the girls. Sect leader Qing Qin. Disciple greets sect leader Qing Qin. The girls all bowed when they saw the person who had arrived. Qing Qin acted as if she did not see them, and her gaze fell on Qin Feng as she sized him up. However, at this moment, a few more white figures landed and stood behind Qing Qin. They were Vice Sect Leader Qing Yi and the group of sect elders who had rushed over. You're the Thousand Shadow Sect Leader? Qin Feng had already sized up Qing Qin. This woman looked to be in her early 20s, but she gave off a mysterious and strong aura. Qing Qin did not open her mouth, but her deep voice was already heard. Who are you? What are you trying to do by barging into my Thousand Shadow sect? Qin Feng was shocked. Just the vital energy that Qing Qin exuded when she spoke was as deep as the sea. It was even stronger than the Spirit Beast sect leader Ling Jinfeng and the others. Ling Jinfeng had already stepped into the realm of Stage 8 vital energy. How terrifying was this woman in front of him? I'm Qiao Feng, a disciple of Ling Xian sect. I have no ill intentions in coming to your sect today. I just want to see my two good friends, Qin Feng said. The expressions of Qing Qin and the group of elders and vice sect leaders behind her suddenly changed. Not long ago, they were discussing strategies in the main hall and even mentioned Ling Xian sect. That Zhao Ling Xian was acting strangely because of Ling Xian sect, and she insisted on going to Ling Xian sect to take a look. What are the names of the people you're looking for? Qing Qin asked calmly. Zhao Ling Xian and Qing Ying. A few exclamations came from the crowd. The elders finally understood that Ling Xian sect really was related to Zhao Ling Xian. Qing Chen's expression was uncertain. No one knew what she was thinking. You've come to the wrong place. We don't have Zhao Ling Xian and Qing Ying here. Qin Feng stared at Qing Chen's expression. You're lying. Qing Chen was instantly enraged. I'm the leader of the Thousand Shadows sect, one of the 5 supreme masters of the divine continent. Why would I lie to you? I'll give you a chance to live now. Leave our sect immediately and don't ever step foot in here again. Otherwise, don't blame me for being merciless. She did not open her mouth when she said this, but her voice was incredibly strong, like thunder falling from the sky. The Thousand Shadows sect's disciples were all intimidated by Qing Chen's might. They lowered their heads and stood to the side carefully. The 3 beautiful women were confused. Zhao Ling Xian and Qing Ying were clearly disciples of the Thousand Shadows sect. Why would the leader lie? The atmosphere instantly froze. Qin Feng was suffocated by this woman's strong vital energy. He realized that he was most likely not Qing Chen's match. However, he was unwilling to retreat. If he could not see Ling Xian and his mother, he would persevere to the last moment even if he died here. I know that Ling Xian and Qing Ying are in your sect. I hope leader Qing Qin can let me see them. Before Qin Feng could finish speaking, Qing Qin suddenly flew into a rage. She struck out with her palm, and it was as if everything in front of her was about to be destroyed. Did I say anything? Get out, rumble. Strong winds and huge waves appeared out of nowhere. It was as if they were going to overturn the ground. Qin Feng immediately sensed extreme danger. However, before he could react, he was sent flying out of the Thousand Shadows sect's entrance. He spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. The piercing red made the 3 beautiful women anxious. Qin Feng forced himself to stand. He used the golden phoenix blade to support his body and looked at Qing Qin. The more emotional you are, the more it means that Ling Xian and Qing Ying are in the sect. I have to see them today. Hurry up and let them out. The women were stunned. None of them expected Qin Feng to be so persistent. Chapter 1438. An oppressive aura hung in the air, and none of the Thousand Shadows sect disciples dared to say anything. The three ladies broke out in cold sweat for Qin Feng. They knew that Qin Feng was very powerful, but they did not think that he would be able to challenge the sect leader. In their eyes, the sect leader was invincible. Good, very good. I've forgotten how long it's been since anyone dared to cause trouble at the Thousand Shadows sect. Since you're tired of living, I'll grant your wish. Rumble. Before Qing Chen finished speaking, she had already arrived in front of Qin Feng. Before Qin Feng could raise his golden phoenix, she slapped him high into the air. Loud noises echoed in the air, and Qin Feng could no longer fight back. His body was like a kite with a broken string, slapped even higher into the air by Qin Chen. In the end, he became a small black dot in the eyes of the disciples. Sect leader Qin Chen, please stop. The pretty ladies could not bear to watch any longer, and suddenly jumped out to plead for mercy. The Thousand Shadows sect disciples looked at her in disbelief. Qing Mei and Qing Zhu trembled in fear, but they still stepped out. Disciple Qing Mei begs the sect leader to spare young hero Qiao's life. Young hero Qiao is not a bad person. Young hero Qiao, the Thousand Shadows sect really does not have the person you're looking for. Please leave. The three ladies had received Qin Feng's kindness before, so how could they leave him in the lurch? However, they did not dare to speak the truth. That would be ruining the sect leader's reputation. The loud noises in the air finally stopped. A white figure flashed, and Qing Chen had already landed in front of the three ladies. The three ladies were so frightened that they immediately knelt on the ground. Rumble. The loud noise in the distance was the sound of Qin Feng falling from the sky. A huge crater appeared in the ground, and the ladies were shocked. They did not know whether Qin Feng was dead or alive. The three of you are really bold. How dare you stop me from doing something? Qin Chen reprimanded with a cold expression. His strong vital energy almost caused the three delicate and pretty ladies to faint. Sect leader Qin Chen, please calm your anger. We are unfilial. The three of us are indebted to young hero Qiao. We cannot bear to see him die here. Qing Zhu and Qing Mei were so frightened that they could not speak. Their delicate and pretty voices trembled continuously. Qin Chen did not attack the three of them. She turned to look at where Qin Feng had fallen. She believed that even if Qin Feng didn't die from that fierce attack, he would at least be half crippled. Just as Qing Chen was about to call for someone to throw Qin Feng out of the sect, he heard soft sounds coming from the huge pit. After a while, Qin Feng climbed out of the deep pit, riddled with wounds. The air seemed to freeze, and the Thousand Shadows sect disciples were dumbfounded by this scene. At this moment, Qin Feng's hair was disheveled and his face was covered in blood. It was so hideous that people couldn't even see his original appearance. His arms and legs seemed to have been broken, but he grabbed a golden long saber and climbed ashore with great difficulty. He supported his body and finally stood up. I'll say it again. Tell Ling Xian and Qing Ying to come out and see me. Otherwise, don't blame me for starting a massacre. At this moment, Qin Feng was incomparably weak. It was as if a gust of wind could blow him away. His voice was even softer, and his breathing was intermittent. It took him 2 tries to finish his sentence. However, the surroundings were completely silent. Qin Feng's voice clearly fell into every disciple's ears, and it was like muffled thunder exploding in their minds. The women's expressions kept changing. Even Qing Chen was shocked by Qin Feng's determination. She was even thinking about a question. What was the relationship between Ling Xian and Qing Ying and the man in front of her for him to risk his life to see them? It had to be said that Qin Chen was infected by Qin Fang's courage and determination. She didn't want to be enemies with Qin Feng anymore. However, the Thousand Shadow sect was in danger. Qing Ying had long been captured and wasn't in the Thousand Shadow sect. As for Zhao Ling Xian, she was the key to the Thousand Shadow sect's survival. How could Qin Chen let Qin Feng see Zhao Ling Xian? I won't waste any more words. The person you're looking for isn't here. Since you insist on seeking death, I'll fulfill your wish. Qin Chen sighed inwardly, but in the next second, she suddenly struck out with her palm. Instantly, a strong gust of wind rose. As the women cried out in surprise, the empty ground in front of them was blasted into a pit. Rumble. The loud noise had yet to stop. Dust flew everywhere, and they couldn't even see what was happening in the distance. However, Qin Chen's expression suddenly changed. She looked around, and her gaze landed on a small black dot that was rapidly moving in the distance. That black dot grew larger and larger, and finally rushed to the front of the crowd. The Thousand Shadow sect disciples were completely dumbfounded. None of them knew what this gigantic, four-wheeled, fast-moving thing was. Rumble. A loud noise suddenly exploded, and a huge cannonball flew out from the muzzle of the black dragon tank. The commotion was like an earthquake. The Thousand Shadow sect disciples were still in a daze, unable to come to their senses. Then, they saw Qing Chen suddenly leap forward, taking the initiative to meet the cannonball. It was as if the cannonball was already close to her in the blink of an eye. Qing Chen didn't hesitate at all. She struck out with her palm, and the violent wind from her palm instantly condensed into a huge palm in front of her. The cannonball and the palm collided, and a loud noise soared into the sky. It was as if the sky was going to be torn apart. Rumble. A series of explosions rang out, and the scene shocked everyone. Even Qin Feng, who was sitting in the cockpit of the black dragon tank, was stunned. Ever since he entered the Divine Land, this was the first time he had met a martial artist who dared to meet the black dragon tank's cannonball head-on. Qin Chen used the power of her palm to block the black dragon tank's cannonball. However, her body also retreated a few steps. Just as she steadied herself, she clutched her chest, as if she had suffered some internal injuries. Before Qin Feng could fire a second shot, a white figure flashed through the air and landed on top of his black dragon tank. "Brother, please stop fighting. Zhao Ling Xian and Qing Ying are indeed disciples of our sect," the Thousand Shadow sect disciples cried out in surprise. They didn't think that Great Elder Qin Bai, who had suddenly rushed over, would speak the truth. Qin Chen coldly glared at her, but didn't say anything else. Qin Feng excitedly put away the black dragon tank. Qin Bai felt the ground under her feet lighten, and when she landed, she looked around in disbelief. However, she found that the huge, strange thing had disappeared. "Who are you? Are you telling the truth?" Qin Feng anxiously asked Qin Bai. Qin Bai carefully looked Qin Feng up and down. Seeing that he was willing to fight to the death to see Ling Xian, she felt somewhat moved. "Don't worry, I'm Ling Xian's master and the Thousand Shadow sect's great elder, Qin Bai. Of course I'm telling the truth." Qin Feng was incredibly excited. In order to find Zhao Ling Xian, he had come from the outside world and had experienced too many life-or-death situations. Now that he was finally going to see Zhao Ling Xian and his mother, he couldn't describe his feelings with words. "All right. I believe you. Hurry and take me to see them." Qin Feng looked impatient. Without waiting for Qin Bai to speak, Qin Chen coldly said, "Even if Ling Xian is in our sect, she's still a disciple of our sect. How can you see her just because you want to?" Qin Feng was instantly enraged. Just as he was about to use the black dragon tank to bombard Qingbai hurriedly said, "Young hero Qiao, don't be anxious. What our sect leader said is the truth. Ling Xian is a genius disciple that our sect has focused on nurturing. She's not someone anyone can see. What's more, we don't know anything about your identity. We can't even confirm if Xiao Ling Xian really knows you. What if you're her enemy and have come to harm her? We'll have to take things slowly." With just a few words, Qingbai managed to turn the situation around. Although Qin Feng wanted to see Xiao Ling Xian, he had no choice but to take a step back. After all, this was the Thousand Shadows sect's territory. Qin Feng's only trump card was the Black Dragon tank, and he still owed the system 1 million Hedonist points. He only had 69,000 Hedonist points left. If he really fell out with the Thousand Shadows sect, he wouldn't even have enough money to buy ammunition. "Alright, go find Ling Xian and tell her that Qiao Feng is here." Zhao Ling Xian knew who Qiao Feng was. Qin Feng was sure that once she heard his name, she would immediately come out to see him. Seeing that she had temporarily calmed Qin Feng down, Qingbai let out a sigh of relief. She secretly glanced at Qingchen. Qingchen walked up and said, "Great Elder Qingbai, I'll go with you." Before Qin Feng could say anything, the two of them had already disappeared. The Thousand Shadows sect's elders immediately led nearly 100 female disciples to surround Qin Feng. They were deeply afraid that he would run away or rush into the Thousand Shadows sect's territory. Qin Feng was severely injured, so he didn't have the mood to force his way in. He simply sat down cross-legged and started to rest. The three pretty girls suddenly ran over. "Young Master Qiao, are you all right?" Qing Xiu took out some healing pills and gave them to Qin Feng, but he didn't need them. "Thank you, Miss Qing Xiu. I'm fine." As he spoke, he changed the topic and asked, "That's right, when did Ling Xian come to the Thousand Shadows sect?" Qing Xiu secretly glanced at the elders and other disciples standing around and said in a low voice, 3 months ago. The formation leading to the outside world loosened, so she was brought back. Qin Feng was now sure that the Thousand Shadows sect's Ling Xian was the Zhao Ling Xian he was looking for. What about Qingning? Is she all right? Thinking about how he would soon be able to see his mother, who he had never seen before, Qin Feng was so nervous that he didn't know where to put his hands. Qing Xiu pouted and said, "Great Elder Qingning isn't at the Thousand Shadows sect. She was kidnapped by a mysterious person 2 years ago." Qin Feng's expression changed drastically. "Are you telling the truth? My mother was kidnapped." "Of course it's true. Why would I lie to young Master Qiao?" Qing Xiu's expression changed halfway through her sentence. "Ha! Young Master Qiao, what did you say Great Elder Qingning was?" Qin Feng realized that he had let the cat out of the bag, but he couldn't be bothered to explain. He had thought that after so many hardships, he would finally be able to see his mother. He didn't think that things wouldn't be so simple. His thoughts raced, and one thought after another flashed through his mind. He had suddenly activated the Hedonist sovereign system 2 years ago, and his mother had disappeared from the Thousand Shadows sect 2 years ago. Was there a connection between these two? As Qin Feng was thinking, Qing Chen and Qing Bai arrived at the main palace. "Qing Bai, how could you tell that brat the truth? You're infuriating me." Qing Chen didn't go to find Zhao Ling Xian. She still maintained her original plan and didn't want Zhao Ling Xian and Qin Feng to meet. Chapter 1439. Qing Chen's expression was cold. Qing Bai asked tentatively, "Sect leader, why don't we get someone else to receive that genius disciple from the Wind Sun Palace? It doesn't have to be Ling Xian, right? It would be great if we could get someone else to receive him. Do you think I forced Qing Ling Xian?" Sect leader Qing Qin suddenly became angry. You know the situation our sect is in now. Why would the Wind Sun Palace come to our Thousand Shadows sect for no reason? That old bastard, Taoist Feng, already told me that he sent Feng Xian for a matchmaking session. Even Qing Bei didn't know about this. Now that she knew the truth, she was shocked. No wonder. I was wondering why someone from the Wind Sun Palace would be so kind as to visit our Thousand Shadows sect. Sect leader Qing Qin, could it be that Feng Xian has his eyes on Zhao Lingxian? Qing Qin nodded. She felt helpless about the current situation. Qing Bai immediately said, Sect leader, if that's the case, then we can't let Lingxian come. You know how stubborn that girl is. If she finds out the truth, she'll be furious. Of course, Qing Chen had thought about this before. However, the Thousand Shadows sect's position as one of the 5 Supreme Masters was in danger. They could only rely on the marriage alliance with the Wind Sun Palace to tide them over. In front of the interests of the sect, how could she care about Zhao Lingxian's opinion? I've already promised Daoist Feng. That Feng Xian is already on his way. If nothing goes wrong, he'll be here in an hour. There's no room for discussion. Even if Lingxian doesn't show up, she'll have to show up. Qing Bai looked at Qing Chen in disbelief. The two of them, along with Qing Ying, had joined the Thousand Shadows sect together. At that time, the 3 of them were very close. They were innocent, mischievous, and kind-hearted. Now that Qing Ying had disappeared and Qing Chen had become cold-blooded after becoming the sect leader, Qing Bai felt helpless. Sect leader, what's Qiao Feng's background? He didn't just come to find Zhao Lingxian. He also mentioned senior sister Qing Ying. Qing Bai changed the topic. Qing Chen's eyes flickered. Even she didn't know what was going on. However, the most important thing right now was to stabilize the Thousand Shadows sect's position. As for Qin Feng, Qing Chen wasn't interested. Alright, go and persuade Qing Lingxian again. Tell her to change into a new set of clothes and wait to receive the esteemed guest, Qing Chen said in a commanding tone. However, Qing Bai didn't move for a long time. She looked like she was in a difficult position. Sect leader, Lingxian wouldn't receive the disciples of the Wind Sun Palace. I suspect that she really does know that Qiao Feng, and they might even be lovers. Otherwise, why would the Spirit Immortals react so strongly when they heard about the Spirit Immortal City? Then why did Qiao Feng disregard his life and insist on seeing Lingxian? Qing Bai's analysis made Qing Chen suddenly realize something. She had been focused on protecting her position as one of the sect's 5 venerables and had not really cared about anything else. Based on what you've said, that's really possible. Then all the more we can't let Lingxian meet with that Qiao guy. Where's Lingxian? Take me there right now. I'll convince her myself. Qing Bai had no choice but to take Qing Chen to find Zhao Lingxian. After resting for a while, Qin Feng had stabilized the chaotic qi within his body. Seeing that Zhao Lingxian still hadn't arrived, he felt a bit worried. Miss Qing Xiu, do you know where Lingxian lives? Qin Feng stood up from the ground. Instantly, the surrounding Thousand Shadows sect disciples waited solemnly. Qing Xiu stood in the middle with an anxious expression. She was afraid that the 2 sides would start fighting. Young Master Qiao, I know where Lingxian lives, but I can't take you there. Please don't make things difficult for me. Since the sect leader and grand elder said that they were going to find Lingxian, they naturally wouldn't lie to you. Qin Feng still didn't really trust Qing Qin, but he couldn't make things difficult for Qing Xiu. However, at this moment, a white figure shot over and landed in front of Qin Feng. Elder Qing Bai, where's Lingxian? Qin Feng instantly became excited when he saw who had arrived. Qing Bai had come alone, and sect leader Qing Chen was nowhere to be seen. There was a trace of helplessness in Qing Bai's expression. When she raised her head to look at Qin Feng, she tried her best to smile naturally. Young Master Qiao, don't worry. Sect leader Qing Chen has already gone to find Ling Xian. I've come to take you to the guest room to rest. Please follow me. Qin Feng had a good impression of Qing Bai, so he believed her words. All right, Grand Elder, please lead the way. The two of them walked into the Thousand Shadow sect's inner courtyard. Along the way, Qin Feng realized that the sect was really filled with female disciples. All of them were delicate and refined. When they saw a man from the sect, they were so shy that they immediately walked away quickly. Finally, they arrived at a quiet mountaintop. There was only a wooden house around it. Qing Bai said, I'll have to trouble young Master Qiao to rest here for now. When there's news from the sect leader, I'll take you to meet Ling Xian. Qin Feng didn't suspect anything. Grand Elder Qing Bai, you've been taking care of Ling Xian all this time, right? Is she doing well here? Qing Bai could see from Qin Feng's eyes how much he doted on Ling Xian. She was even more certain that the two of them were a couple. Young Master Qiao, don't worry. I'm Ling Xian's master, and I treat her like my own child. Ling Xian's talent is outstanding, and she's the best candidate to cultivate our sex charm technique. I wonder if young Master Qiao can let Ling Xian stay and continue cultivating our sect's secret technique after you meet her. This is for the good of her future. Qing Bai didn't know why Qing Chen was looking for Ling Xian alone, so she first probed Qin Feng's attitude. If Qin Feng was a sensible person and was willing to let Zhao Ling Xian stay in the Thousand Shadows sect to cultivate, then this matter would be easily resolved. Grand Elder Qing Bai, I can't give you a definite answer right now. It depends on Ling Xian herself. If she's willing to stay, I naturally won't stop her. Now that Qin Feng had established his own faction in the Divine Continent, this land would be one of his areas of activity in the future. He didn't really care if Zhao Ling Xian stayed in the Thousand Shadows sect. Qin Bai was pleasantly surprised. She thought Qin Feng would definitely take Zhao Ling Xian away. As such, Qin Bai's impression of Qin Feng became better and better. That's right, young Master Qiao, you're here to see senior sister Qingying. What's her relationship with you? Qin Bai suddenly asked about Qingying. At the mention of his mother, Qin Feng's calm emotions were thrown into disarray. However, he hadn't known Qin Bai for long, so it wasn't appropriate for him to reveal his relationship with his mother. We're not that close. I just want to see her. Qin Feng casually made up an excuse. Qin Bai naturally didn't believe him, but she could tell that Qin Feng didn't want to say too much, so she didn't probe further. As the two of them conversed, in Zhao Ling Xian's room, Qin Chen was trying her best to persuade her to receive the genius disciple from the Wind Sun Palace. Senior Qin Chen, don't say any more. I won't receive Feng Xian. Zhao Ling Xian's attitude was as resolute as ever. Qin Chen felt helpless. She suddenly said, Ling Xian, do you already have someone you like? Zhao Ling Xian was startled. She hadn't expected Qin Chen to suddenly ask such a question. I won't hide it from Senior. I do have someone I like, and I'll only follow him for the rest of my life. Please don't force me. Zhao Ling Xian decided to lay her cards on the table. A cold look flashed in Qin Chen's eyes as she continued to ask, What's the name of your sweetheart? Zhao Ling Xian looked at Qin Chen in confusion. She felt that there was something off about this woman today. Even if I told you, you wouldn't know. Let's not talk about it. Qin Chen became more and more suspicious that Qiao Feng, who had come to the Thousand Shadows sect, was Zhao Ling Xian's boyfriend. She immediately became anxious. If Zhao Ling Xian found out that Qiao Feng had come for her, the marriage between the Thousand Shadows sect and the Wind Sun Palace would definitely fall apart. It's fine if you don't want to talk about it. Can you tell me about the spiritual immortal city and the spiritual immortal sect? The name of the sect is quite interesting. It's actually the same as your name. Qing Chen started to beat around the bush. At the mention of the spiritual immortal city, Zhao Lingxian's eyes lit up. This was the last bit of hope in her heart. Senior, can you take me to the spiritual immortal city? My man should be there. Qiao Feng was a disciple of the spiritual immortal sect. He had risked his life to come to the Thousand Shadows sect to find Zhao Lingxian. Now that Zhao Lingxian said that her man was in the spiritual immortal city, Qing Chen completely understood. At that moment, she was very anxious. The Wind Sun Palace's disciple was about to arrive. If she didn't resolve the matter between Zhao Lingxian and Qiao Feng, the Thousand Shadows sect's current crisis would be difficult to overcome. At that moment, a disciple rushed into Zhao Lingxian's room to report that the Wind Sun Palace's disciple, Feng Xian, had already arrived. This made Qing Chen even more anxious. I understand. First, arrange for young hero Feng Xian to rest in the guest room. Tell him that I'll bring Lingxian to meet him in a bit. The female disciple obeyed Qing Chen's order and retreated. Zhao Lingxian immediately jumped up and shouted, "Senior, I said I won't appear. Why must you force me?" Qing Chen suppressed his temper and said, "Lingxian, you've already been at the Thousand Shadows sect for 3 months. You can be considered half a disciple of our sect. You know very well the Thousand Shadows sect's current situation. It could be replaced by a new sect at any time. How about I ask you to meet Feng Xian for the Thousand Shadows sect?" Qing Chen had no way out. As the sect leader of the Thousand Shadows sect, one of the 5 supremes, he had to ask Zhao Lingxian for help. Zhao Lingxian couldn't bear to do this, but when she thought of Qin Feng, she immediately rejected the idea. If it was anything else, Zhao Lingxian, would definitely help. However, this is not negotiable. If I meet Feng Xian, how can I face my man? If you agree to meet him, I'll also agree to take you to Spirit Immortal City after this. Qing Chen had no other choice but to throw out bait to confuse Zhao Lingxian. This condition was too tempting to Zhao Lingxian, causing her to hesitate. Seeing this, Qing Chen hurriedly continued to persuade her, "Lingxian, I hope you can understand our difficulties. We don't want to force you to do something you don't like, but the Thousand Shadows sect is in danger. We have no other choice. Moreover, I'm only asking you to meet Feng Xian for a few days. At most, you'll take him on a tour of the Thousand Shadows sect. Nothing else will happen. As long as you help the Thousand Shadows sect build a good relationship with the Wind Sun Palace, I'll keep my word and personally take you to Spirit Immortal City." Chapter 1440. Great Elder Qing Bai, why isn't Lingxian here yet? Qin Feng, who was waiting outside the small wooden hut at the top of the mountain, was a little anxious. Qing Bai was even more anxious than Qin Feng. She didn't know whether sect leader Qing Chen would bring Zhao Lingxian here or not. If Qing Chen really didn't bring Zhao Lingxian here and sent her to receive the disciples of the Wind Sun Palace, Qin Feng would definitely make a scene when he found out. "Young hero Qiao, why don't you go and do your own things first?" Qing Bai looked helpless. Qin Feng immediately jumped up from the ground. "Elder, what do you mean? Is that old woman Qing Chen not keeping her promise? What does she want?" Qing Bai didn't know how to explain. Just as she was feeling anxious, a white figure floated over. Qin Feng immediately took out his golden phoenix and was about to attack. "Young hero Qiao, don't be anxious. Listen to me first," Qing Chen said calmly. However, Qin Feng's sword had already landed. Qing Chen stood at the edge of the mountain without dodging. She waved her long sleeves lightly, and the 100-meter-long golden sword chi instantly dissipated. Rumble. It was as if thunder had exploded in the air above the valley. Many rocks were shattered and rolled down the mountain. Qin Chen did not care at all. He strode over to Qin Fen and said, "You're too impatient. If it weren't for the fact that you're a spirit immortal friend, would have killed you long ago." Qin Chen was filled with anger, but Qin Feng was even angrier than her. Seeing that the two of them were about to fight again, Qin Bai hurriedly leaped and landed between them. "Young hero Qiao, don't be agitated. Sect leader, how is Ling Xian?" Qin Bai secretly gave Qin Chen a look. Qin Chen didn't say anything else. She turned and walked back to the edge of the mountain. She looked down at the entire Thousand Shadows sect. "Come and take a look, and you'll know." Qin Feng and Qin Bai's figures flashed and they arrived at the edge of the mountain. The closest place was a sacred cultivation ground of the Thousand Shadows sect. It was a bamboo forest surrounded by dense spiritual qi and beautiful scenery. It was an excellent place for a date. However, the Thousand Shadows sect only had female disciples, so some of the functions of the bamboo forest were wasted. At that moment, a man and a woman were walking in the bamboo forest. The man wore a black robe and was tall and handsome. The woman was dressed in a white gown and wore a white veil that covered half of her face. However, Qin Feng only needed to glance at the woman's large eyes to immediately recognize her. "Junior sister Ling Xian, it's my honor to be able to stroll in this bamboo forest with you." On the way, the black-clothed man kept sneaking glances at Zhao Ling Xian's beauty and perfect figure. Zhao Ling Xian naturally noticed and felt disgusted. However, when she thought about how she could go to Spirit Immortal City to find Qin Feng after receiving Feng Xian, she could only endure it. As they walked, Zhao Ling Xian lowered her head and didn't say anything. Her mind was filled with images of Qin Feng. No matter how much of a genius Feng Xian was, or how handsome and tall he was nothing in Zhao Ling Xian's eyes. "Junior sister Ling Xian, why haven't you said anything? Are you tired of walking? Why don't we sit down and rest?" Feng Xian had already looked around and confirmed that there was no one else nearby. Without waiting for Zhao Ling Xian to agree, he took off his clothes and spread them on the ground. He walked over and pulled Zhao Ling Xian to sit down. "You, what are you doing? Don't come close to me, I'm not tired." Zhao Ling Xian was already prepared. Before the other party came close, she had already retreated a few steps, maintaining a distance of 3 meters between her and Feng Xian. A cold look flashed in Feng Xian's eyes. He was already angry at Zhao Ling Xian's repeated rejections. Now that the Thousand Shadows sect had lost its power, and the old sect leader and great elder Qing were missing, it would be difficult for them to maintain their position as one of the 5 supreme masters of the Divine Land. At a time like this, Feng Xian representing the Wind Sun Palace was giving the Thousand Shadows sect face. The reason why Feng Xian had come this time was because he had taken a fancy to Zhao Ling Xian's beauty the last time he had come to the Thousand Shadows sect for a martial arts exchange. This time, he had specially come to cultivate a relationship with Zhao Ling Xian, but he hadn't expected Zhao Ling Xian's attitude to be like this. "Ling Xian, my Wind Sun Palace and the Thousand Shadows sect have been allies for over 10 years. The disciples of our sects often exchange martial arts in private and learn from each other. Now, you're guarding against me like you're guarding against an enemy. This is simply unacceptable." Feng Xian's expression became serious. Zhao Ling Xian didn't back down. "Young hero Feng Xian, my sect leader only asked me to show you around. As for other matters, you should find other disciples." Feng Xian's expression became increasingly unsightly. He was the Wind Sun Palace's genius eldest disciple. In the entire Divine Land, there were countless female disciples who begged to be slept with by him. Zhao Ling Xian had only joined the Thousand Shadows sect for 3 months, yet she was putting on such airs. Junior sister Ling Xian, I won't hide it from you. A month ago, I came to your sect for a martial arts exchange. At that time, I fell in love with you at first sight. This time, I've come again because I want to be together with junior sister Ling Xian. Feng Axian had lost his patience and decided to get straight to the point. Zhao Ling Xian was so frightened that she immediately retreated 3 steps. Now, she maintained a distance of 5 meters between herself and Feng Axian. Don't let your imagination run wild. I already have someone I like. I can't be with you. Zhao Ling Xian's attitude was resolute. Feng Axian's expression immediately changed. His pretense of scholarly elegance disappeared as he coldly glared at her and yelled, "Clear spirit Xian, I'm the genius eldest disciple of the Wind Sun Palace. In the future, I will inherit the position of sect leader and lead the hundreds of disciples of the Wind Sun Palace. You like other men, but not me. Aren't you being too arrogant?" Zhao Ling Xian was also a bit angry. If it wasn't for sect leader Qing Chen threatening and enticing her, she wouldn't even bother to see Feng Axian. Since we both have issues with each other, let's stop here. You can go and walk around by yourself. Zhao Ling Xian turned to leave, but after taking 2 steps, she was so scared that she quickly retreated. She didn't know when, but Feng Axian had appeared in front of her. Ha! Since you've said it like this, I won't pretend to be noble. There's only you and me in Little Bamboo Forest, and you're at my mercy. Seeing Feng Axian walk towards her with an evil smile on his face, Zhao Ling Xian was so worried that she was covered in sweat. Don't come over. This is the Thousand Shadows sect. Sect leader Qing Chen might deal with you. Feng Axian couldn't stop laughing. Sect leader Qing Chen will deal with me. I'm not afraid to tell you that she gave me the power to do whatever I wanted to you. Zhao Ling Xian's expression changed. Her beautiful eyes were filled with despair and fear. She realized that she had become Qing Chen's tool to stabilize the Thousand Shadows sect. This old woman was simply too vicious. Don't blame me. Otherwise, I'll die in front of you. Zhao Ling Xian felt helpless as tears welled up in her eyes. Feng Axian didn't stop walking. He lightly smiled and said, "Who do you think I am? Do you think it's so easy for you to die in front of me? I think you should just obediently obey me." Since Feng Axian had revealed his fox's tail, he didn't waste any more words. He suddenly turned into a black blur and shot towards Zhao Ling Xian. He was as fast as lightning, and Zhao Ling Xian had no way of dodging. She instinctively yelled out Qin Feng's name at the most critical moment. However, at this moment, an earth-shattering roar descended from the sky, causing all of the bamboo in the forest to fall to the ground. Roar, roar. It wasn't Qin Feng who had fallen. Instead, it was a massive, fiery red beast. Zhao Ling Xian was scared to tears by the giant winged fire demon. Feng Axian stood rooted to the ground, his legs uncontrollably trembling. Roar, roar. The giant winged fire demon wasn't in a hurry to attack Feng Axian. It half-crouched and moved its head closer to Zhao Ling Xian. Its massive head rubbed against the bottom of Zhao Ling Xian's feet, as if it wanted to curry favor with her. Zhao Ling Xian stopped crying. She realized that this large demon beast didn't have any ill intentions towards her. It seemed to treat her as its master. "I am fine. Help me deal with that bad guy." Zhao Ling Xian carefully spoke to the giant winged fire demon. She had almost been bullied by Feng Axian just then. At this moment, she wanted to kill this bastard. After the giant winged fire demon confirmed that Zhao Ling Xian was fine, it suddenly stood up. It glared at Feng Axian with its massive, blood-red eyes, causing the latter to continuously retreat. "Why, you bastard, hurry up and piss off. Feng Axian pulled out the sword at his waist and wildly swung it in front of him. Sword cries rang out in the air. Feng Axian was an expert at level 7 of true Qi, so the instant his sword Qi landed, it left a trail of sword marks. However, the giant winged fire demon completely ignored his sword attacks. Its massive body forcibly withstood the concentrated sword light, and its foot descended towards him. Rumble. The instant the giant palm landed, the entire bamboo forest violently swayed. Feng Axian did his best to escape, but was still sent flying by the aftershocks. His body swayed in the air like a kite with a broken string. Just as he floated halfway, the giant winged fire demon swung its palm. Instantly, the air around him completely exploded, and the violent air currents all crashed into Feng Axian's body. Under the giant winged fire demon's palm, his body was as weak as an ant, and it instantly exploded into pieces of flesh and blood. Ah! Xiaoling Xian was so frightened by this bloody scene that she screamed. The giant winged fire demon immediately rushed back and knelt in front of her as if nothing had happened. It then started to rub its head against the soles of her feet. Xiaoling Xian was dumbfounded. She couldn't understand where this large monster had come from. Qing Chen and Qing Bai, who were standing on the opposite mountain peak, were also dumbfounded. The genius disciple of the Wind Sun Palace had actually died in the Thousand Shadows sect. Crap, Feng Axian is dead. The Wind Sun Palace will definitely fight to the death with our Thousand Shadows sect. Qing Bai's face was full of panic, as if she was talking to herself. Qing Chen was so angry that his body trembled. He suddenly swung his palm towards Qin Feng. You bastard, you caused the death of our entire Thousand Shadows sect. Rumble. Qing Chen seemed to have gone mad. Under his palm, Qin Feng was unable to retaliate at all. He was instantly sent flying and smashed into the wooden house on the mountain peak. Just as Qin Feng landed, Qing Chen's figure appeared. A pink light suddenly shot out from the sleeve of his white robe. A flying sword fell to the ground like a meteor, piercing towards Qin Feng's heart. Rumble. There was a huge explosion, but the sword was unable to kill Qin Feng. At some point, the giant winged fire demon had landed on the mountain peak. Its tall and sturdy body was like a towering tree, and the instant it landed, it seemed as if the mountain peak would collapse. Roar, roar. Chapter 1441. The battle was extremely intense right from the start. Xiaoling Xian looked around in a daze and found that the massive demon beast had disappeared. She quickly heard a loud sound coming from the opposite mountain peak. An indescribable feeling welled up in her heart. She had to go to the top of the mountain to take a look. Qin Feng was severely injured by Qing Chen's palm strike. He lay in the rubble and couldn't even get up. The giant winged fire demon stood guard dozens of meters in front of him. Even though sword qi continuously fell from the sky, it didn't retreat at all. Because of Feng Axian's death, Qing Chen had completely lost her rationality. Moreover, Feng Axian had been killed by this gigantic winged fire demon. At this moment, she did not hold back at all. The violent sword qi pressured Qin Feng so much that he could not breathe. The giant winged fire demon was a fire-type rank 6 demon beast. It had the power of a stage 8 vital energy realm martial artist. Moreover, as a demon beast, its defense was astonishing. Back in the Fire Beast Battalion, even Yang Gang, who had stage 8 vital energy realm martial artist, didn't dare to fight the fire demon alone. It was only after Qin Feng heavily injured the fire demon that Yang Gang dared to attack, but now, under Qing Chen's violent sword qi, the fire demon roared continuously. Dozens of sword wounds appeared on its tough skin, and blood instantly stained the entire mountain peak. It was as if a waterfall had fallen 3,000 feet to the bottom of the mountain. Qin Feng was furious, but he didn't even have the strength to activate the black dragon tank. Qing Bai couldn't bear to watch anymore. She suddenly slapped the air, and a huge palm print appeared above the fire demon's head, blocking the surging sword qi. Qing Bai, what are you doing? Qing Chen was instantly furious, but she was still waving the spiritual sword in her hand. Qing Bai's forehead was covered in sweat. Her cultivation level was lower than Qing Chen's, so it was very difficult for her to block Qing Chen's sword qi. Qing Chen, stop fighting. This isn't young hero Qiao's fault. That Feng Axian is a beast in human form. He wanted to take advantage of Ling Xian in the bamboo forest. Even if young hero Qiao didn't send this fire demon beast, I would have stopped him. Qing Chen glared and stopped her sword. She looked at Qing Bai. What if I said that Feng Axian did this because I instructed him to? Are you going to kill me too? Qing Bai's expression changed drastically. She really did not expect that Qing Chen would instruct Feng Axian to use forceful methods. She realized that Qing Chen had really changed. Ever since he became the sect leader, he had completely lost his kindness. If that's the case, then I'll demand an explanation for my disciple. Qing Bai's voice suddenly rose, and her white robe fluttered even though there was no wind. Qing Chen smiled coldly and said, demand an explanation. I am the sect leader of the Thousand Shadows sect, my words are the imperial edict. Qing Chen, you've changed. You're no longer the good sister Qing Ying and I knew. Wake up. Qing Bai's expression was cold. Ha! You want me to wake up? I think you're the one who should wake up. Look at the Thousand Shadows sect now, it's about to be kicked out of the top 5 supremes. What else can I do? I'm doing this for the sake of the Thousand Shadows sect's development. The Thousand Shadows sect has been developing for hundreds of years, growing stronger by the day. If it were to be destroyed in my hands, would not be satisfied even if I died. There was no conclusion to their argument. They were no longer the Qing Chen and Qing Bai that they were when they first entered the Thousand Shadows sect. The two women's goals and thoughts were already different. It was hard to say who was right and who was wrong, but they could no longer walk the same path. Qing Bai, hurry and leave. Otherwise, don't blame me for not caring about our sisterhood. Qing Chen's patience had run out, and a murderous aura suddenly appeared around her. Qing Bai's last bit of hope turned into complete despair. She suddenly drew her sword and stabbed towards the sky. Young hero Qiao, hurry and leave, boom. Instantly, sword light shot out in all directions from the top of the mountain, and massive explosions sounded like muffled thunder. The giant winged fire demon had lost a lot of blood, and its roars became weaker. Qin Feng hurriedly put it back into the system's immortal island to recover. By now, Qin Feng had recovered some strength. He wanted to take advantage of the battle between Qing Bai and Qing Chen to leave with Zhao Ling Xian. However, he found that Qing Bai couldn't hold on for much longer. Qing Chen, Ling Xian has caught up. Let her and young hero Qiao go. Qing Bai coughed up a few mouthfuls of blood, but continued to fight. Qing Chen had already seen Zhao Ling Xian flying up from the bottom of the cliff. She anxiously shouted, Qiao, it's not too late for you to leave now. If Ling Xian comes up and sees you, I promise to kill both of you. At this moment, Qing Chen was in a frenzied state. Qing Bai hurriedly shouted, young hero Qiao, leave first. Otherwise, you'll never have the chance to take Ling Xian away. Qin Feng was so angry that his face was contorted. He wanted to stab Qing Chen to death with his spear. However, after fighting with this woman, Qin Feng knew how powerful she was. This was the first time Qin Feng had encountered such an unfathomable opponent after coming to the Divine Land. Qin Chen's aura was as strong as the sea, and it seemed endless. Qin Feng even realized that he couldn't defeat her even if he used the Black Dragon tank. Earlier, Qin Chen had blocked the Black Dragon tank's cannon with one palm. The battle became more and more intense. Qin Bai's speed and strength were clearly weakening, and her face was as pale as a sheet of paper. It was obvious that she couldn't hold on any longer. Qin Feng had no choice but to grit his teeth and leave. A pink light flashed continuously in the sky, and his loud voice reverberated through the mountain. Ling Xian, I, Qiao Feng, have come to the Thousand Shadows sect with no results today. Once I quickly break through, I'll definitely take you away from this place. Whoosh! Just as Qin Feng finished speaking, a beautiful figure landed on the mountain top. Zhao Ling Xian raised her head and looked at the pink light flashing in the sky. Tears streamed down her face as she shouted anxiously, Qin Feng, I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you forever. Zhao Ling Xian called out Qin Feng's real name. She didn't know that Qin Feng had deliberately changed his identity to Qiao Feng after coming to the Divine Land. The pink light in the sky suddenly paused for a moment, then disappeared into the distance. This was because Qin Feng knew that if he really rushed back to see Zhao Ling Xian, that old woman, Qing Qin, would definitely kill them both. After Qin Feng left, the battle on the mountaintop quickly calmed down. Qin Bai clutched her chest and panted heavily. She coughed up blood from time to time. Qin Chen's white robes were torn a few times, but there didn't seem to be any injuries on her body. Master, are you all right? Zhao Ling Xian finally regained her senses and immediately went up to support Qin Bai. Master, did someone come looking for me just now? Qin Bai's voice was weak. A man called Qiao Feng came looking for you. He vowed to see you even if it cost him his life. He even said he came from the Spirit Immortal City. Now that things had come to this, Qin Bai no longer hid anything from Zhao Ling Xian. She had already seen through Qin Chen's selfishness. Qin Chen was so angry that she gritted her teeth. She waved her hand, and Zhao Ling Xian immediately fell into her hands. Qin Chen, what are you doing? Qin Bai anxiously pulled out her sword and tried to stab her. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.